Check.
At-home treatment.
Check.
And costs thousands less than braces.
Check.
There's no need to settle when it comes to achieving the smile of your dreams. Just visit Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Order your impression kit today for just $14.95. That's over 80% off. Learn more at BYTE.com. Start your clear aligner journey with Byte.
I love my hardwood floors, but I wasn't sure how to take care of them. Carrying around a bucket was such a hassle. And even worse, my string mop left streaks and haze behind. Then I found Swiffer Wet Jet Wood, the all-in-one tool made specially for wood floors. Its microfiber-like pad is soft, and it sprays a light mist solution that dries fast. With Swiffer Wet Jet Wood, it's easy to keep up with the mess on my wood floors. Even that mess.
Swiffer Wet Jet Wood, proud member of the National Wood Floor Association.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown. The Carolina Panthers will open the new season with Baker Mayfield under center, and they'll host Mayfield's former team, the Cleveland Browns, in Week 1. Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady is back with the team and out on the practice field today. Brady was away from camp for a week and a half for personal reasons. ESPN's Sam Acho.
If I'm a teammate, I don't care, right? Like, if I'm a teammate I've played with in the last 2 years, I know he won us the Super Bowl. I know he's Tom Brady. I know he's the greatest of all time. Like, I don't need you for today. I need you for Week 1. I need you for Week 17. I need you for the playoffs.
The Bucs play their preseason finale Saturday night against the Colts. No word yet if Brady will take any snaps. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the 49ers will sign safety Tashawn Gibson. He played the last 2 years with the Bears. The Commanders activate tight end Logan Thomas off the PUP list, coming back from torn ligaments in his left knee just 8.5 months ago. And the Vikings make a trade with the Raiders to get quarterback Nick Mullins. Las Vegas gets a conditional 2024 draft pick.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. And don't forget, every time we're live, you can see us on YouTube at thesportsocracy.com. Just click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And, of course, that gets you into the chat each and every day. You can vote on the polls throughout the program. And you can also join the House of Reprehensibles. Don't forget to follow the link in the description of each and every video that we do in the lead up to the NFL season here. I guess I should say the fantasy football season, because you want to join the battle for the belt. The belt has been designed.
It is done.
It looks sweet.
It is very wonderful.
And shockingly enough, Jeremy was open-minded enough to put Tom Brady on the belt twice.
Tom Brady's not on the belt.
Yeah.
There is a goat. There are two goats. They're facing goats.
Tom Brady.
It's actually the name of the belt is the Facing Goat Belt.
Nice. Okay. Yep. The Facing Goat Belt.
Yep.
Is that going to be etched on it somewhere?
Well, we'll have the mock-up of the belt will be on our Facebook later, so you can see it, all of the things. But the belt is in production and will be in our hands very, very soon.
Indeed. It's a $20 buy-in/donation.
Entry. You can't say buy-in.
You can't say buy-in?
Can't say buy-in.
Okay, excuse me.
Don't
want to do crimes.
Yeah, no crimes. No, it is a $20 donation.
$20 donation that will end up going to Eblin Charities St. Nicholas Project. As each and every year during the Christmas season, Eblin Charities make sure that the needy families in our area have something for their kids underneath the Christmas tree, and we love to support this little venture each and every year. And once again, we are, we're slotty for charity, as Jeremy likes to say.
I am very slotty. That's something that's been said of me many times.
So get in on the battle for the belt. Again, $20 going to a great cause, and it's a whole lot of fun throughout the season. The year-long DFS contest is where we will give out the belt. Somebody
is going to receive the belt by hand from me, which is the ultimate in bragging rights.
They're gonna have to pry it from your cold dead fingers.
Oh, right? Yeah, because I'm gonna carry this thing around all fall long.
Why do I not doubt that in the least?
Might break out the Nature Boy Jeremy Greene robe too.
I've been waiting to see it for 5 years.
Well, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Eddie Fox. Every time it comes out of the box, it loses about a handful of sequins.
Of course it does.
And, they don't age well.
Right. All right. We welcome everybody into the program today.
But some news for people that get into the Battle of the Belt.
Oh, okay.
If you get in through our Patreon, which every level of the Patreon gets you into this thing in some shape, form, or fashion, you will be getting the month of September for free.
Nice.
I am a big fan of free.
Free is the best word in the English language.
It's fantastic. You get all of the things. So if you're a DFS player, you'll be getting my rankings every week. That's the great handicap of the Battle of the Belt for me. You're going to be getting my rankings. So you're going to be playing against me, and I'm showing y'all of my notes. And
so you think that puts you at a disadvantage?
Well, I mean, I was at a grave advantage anyway, just by being me.
Oh, just
dirtiest player in the game.
Please. We need so many people to be involved in this, not only for the benefit of Eblen Charity St. Nicholas Project, but also to shut him up.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, and this is the beauty of the contest. You all have the ability. But can you? Because if I win, somebody else will still win the prize. I am obviously not taking the prize thanks to WNC Auto Detailing, Ingles Markets. Wonderful prize pack that will go to the winner that is not one of us.
Amazon, the big Amazon gift card.
Correct.
Yeah.
However, if I win the contest, I still get the belt, and I'll carry it everywhere. Somebody did point this out to me on social media. I want to see how long it takes you to get to the same point I did when someone explained it to me.
Okay.
Who is this person? Creates a title belt of their own volition, carries it around as though they earned it, and never really defends it. It's the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
I see. I'd forgotten about the $1 Million belt. I'd forgotten about the $1 Million belt. That's right.
They're in the same boat.
I was trying to think like WWE 24/7 championship. How did that come about? Like, no. Okay.
Nope. And you know what else? You know what the $1 Million Man had?
What's that?
Tremendous mullet.
He did.
As do I.
He did.
As do I.
Welcome into the program. We got a lot to talk about today. On Friday, we did the building the best and worst offenses in the NFL using position groups. So we built it with, for example, I took the Baltimore quarterbacks, mixing them with the Cleveland Browns running backs, the Tampa Bay wide receivers, the Los Angeles Chargers offensive line, and give me the tight ends of the Arizona Cardinals. And you got a pretty unbeatable team. And today we're going to do the same thing with the defensive position groups. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we'll do the best first, then how to build the worst defense in the NFL using those position groups. The daily draft today, college football centric. How to hit the reset button on your college fandom. If you are going to just start it all over, whether you're a fan of Florida State who once made you proud and now they have pooed in your nest.
Repeatedly.
Yep. Or whether or not, you're a Georgia fan, you reach the top of the mountain and you go, I can't get any better than this, need to start over with somebody else. No matter what side you're on, that's our daily draft today. If you're picking a team to start out with, as as a new fan, who would you pick?
And this topic comes from our buddy, Eddie Fox of 99.9 Kiss Country, who will be joining us later in this show. We were just having an offhand conversation about how excited I was that college football was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I love college football. I just don't have a team to pull for. And then we put our brains together, and we have a contest.
All right, so we're going to, what are we picking Eddie's new fantasy football or new college football team?
So this will be over the course of the week on our Facebook page. You will find a graphic with Edward's very sizable face in the graphic. Really hard to not see because he and I both are the only people that wear aviators that large. In the comments, you get 5 words. Sell your school in 5 words or less. And I feel like currently we have a leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, me.
No.
Defending national champions, enough said.
Yeah, you got smacked down pretty quick. You haven't been back to the post, have you?
Oh, what are you talking about? Naeem's comment?
Yes.
That will just be remembered as last year's chumps.
And that's what you will be remembered as forever.
Yeah, until the next 40-year drought is over.
Correct.
And that's fine. Naeem's a huge Alabama fan, and I don't blame him at all for that.
Rob Johnson, I can't say that on air, but that is really, really good about Ohio State.
All right, so we'll be drafting new fans or new teams for college football. We'll talk to Eddie.
If there was no emotion, if there was no feeling whatsoever, and you could just pick your own college football team, who would it be?
Yep. We'll talk to Eddie about his conundrum going into this college football season. But first, I feel like we need to get into the big news of the day.
Is it big news?
It's huge news. It's huge news to any Carolina Panthers fan who believes that the Savior has arrived to the Queen City. The Carolina Panthers have named Baker Mayfield the starter Week 1. Who didn't know that was going to happen?
Of course that's how it goes.
You're playing his former team Week 1.
Do you realize how big of a slap in the face it would be if Sam Darnold had started Week 1? None of us thought that was a possibility. Now the question, how long does he stay the starter?
I'm going to guess 5 weeks.
About Week 6 is where I have thought things could come off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think it could come off the rails. And I will say, T's and P's to Matt Corral, done for the year. I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory with that, but who's shocked?
Really? What? They were going to cut him anyway?
Well, here's the thing. He was bad.
100%.
Now all of a sudden, look, I'm not saying he didn't get hurt. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it was very ironic that a third-round pick who was going to take a roster spot that nobody was really happy about. Weird.
Mm-hmm. He gets hurt, done for the year, and whew, thank goodness we don't have to explain why we cut him.
Just put you on IR and hope you get better over the course of the year.
Right. So the Carolina Panthers going with old Baker Mayfield to start out the season. And again, you shouldn't be shocked by this. And I know that
this is how it was always going to go.
Yeah.
Now I will die on the hill that I'm getting ready to throw out there.
Okay.
I still maintain Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
And if I hear one more person that does what we do at our level or higher say, well, Carolina could win the division. Well, they could. They could win the division. I could have also won the Miss Canton contest on Saturday, and I don't think either one would have been that much bigger of an upset than the other.
Jeremy B. Miss Labor Day 2020.
Miss Labor Day, sorry. Yeah. It was in Canton.
Right. It's the Canton Labor Day Parade.
Bingo.
Big deal. Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand how this allows you to jump to that conclusion of, we're so much better now. Are you, though? Are you really that much better?
Well, I mean, look, we've said this time and time again. There are pieces of this team to like.
Mm-hmm.
There is a very clear delineation between the two bottom teams in this division and the two top teams. I mean, I can lead you to that water, but I cannot make you drink it.
Right.
There is a huge difference between the two. And I'm going to tell you, as somebody that was the absolute loudest detractor of Baker Mayfield in all of draft prognosticationdom, let me tell you what you're going to see. And I had this, I'm going to use somebody else's phrasing to me. This is somebody that's been at every day of Panthers training camp.
Mm-hmm.
1 out of every 5 throws, I see why he was the number 1 pick in the draft. The other 4, I ask how he's still in this league because I do not know.
Mm-hmm.
The inconsistency is absolutely maddening. And if what you're looking for, this is the part that I don't understand. And I'm not trying to be a naysayer. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just being honest with you. This is what I heard Panther fans say all year last year. You correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Sam constantly puts us in a bad position because he always turns the ball over at the worst possible time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no quarterback in the NFL worse than that. Worse at that than Baker Mayfield. There's not one. So if you think you're getting this great game manager, I hate to break this to you. You have been sold a bill of goods.
Adam Black, true believer, in the YouTube comments says, here are the reasons. 1, the defense. We'll give you the defense. The defense is good. 2, West Coast offense with the speed that we have. Okay? I could give you that.
I'll give you DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey. That's the end of that.
You don't have any nothing for Robbie Anderson and all that?
Robbie's a straight line speed guy. First of all, this is not a true West Coast by any stretch of the imagination. This is more of an RPO-based – and I think that's the thing that bothers me the most, is that the offense they're putting in is earmarked for Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
And you had that done. And then you went in and complicated it with a guy that doesn't do this well. And that part I don't get.
Baker doesn't RPO well?
Not like Sam does. Like, he's just not a threat. I mean, in a straight line, I've always laughed at the people. Well, he's really mobile. In a foot race, he and I would be in a dead heat with each other, and I'm a 6'5", 245-pound man.
Right.
He's not as fast as you think he is. He's high 4.9s, low 5. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's really no threat in that.
And lastly, Black says Baker has the arm talent.
That I've never disputed. I've never disputed his arm. It's everything that happens in between his ear holes that bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an offense that requires that. I don't see the difference. I never have. And you know what? We're almost there. We're almost to the time where we can sit back and, you know what, if I'm wrong, you can enjoy the parade of telling me that you told me so.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can rest assured, if I'm right, I will.
Oh, and you'll hear about it. Yeah, absolutely. You got 2 teams to climb over, though, to win that division. And Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker. I don't think you have the solution to jump over the New Orleans Saints or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that division.
Although there are things going on with your Buccaneers that we might need to discuss later in this hour.
We'll talk about that coming up next, right here on ESPN Asheville.
Roots and wings, the 2 greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Hey folks, DG here. Y'all know I've always loved the slogan, Smiles Change Lives, which I first heard years ago from Dr. Rebecca Merrill of Asheville Smiles. I hope you will live that slogan here in 2022. Whether it's just time for a routine cleaning, you want to learn more about Invisalign, a great alternative to braces, you need a diagnosis and treatment plan, or if you don't have dental insurance, you just want to learn more about her special membership plans. 828-251-2426 or AshevilleSmiles.com.
The Night Race. It's as American as Uncle Sam deadlifting 350 while drinking a Busch Light outside his camper in a national park. It's as American as Earnhardt rattling Terry's cage. It's the Bass Pro Shops Night Race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And it's a cutoff race in the NASCAR playoffs. You remember what happened last year, right? Be there September 17th. Go to BristolMotorspeedway.com and get your tickets before they're gone. Can I get a hell yeah?
This should be 8x7.
When it comes to closets, Janina's home organization business runs tip-top tidy.
Is this schedule right? I'm gonna need help.
But she needs to reorganize and find a new assistant.
I know, it's your last week, but can you make sure the Hanson pantry's wrapped?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Ah, yes, and football just around the corner. Jeremy's excited because he's got preseason football tonight.
You didn't lead that in the right way.
I apologize. Go ahead.
I don't just have preseason football. We have 2027 Super Bowl champion Jets football.
He's trying to get excited after just completely bailing on the season already.
In NFL history, there has never been a team start an NFL game with an offensive tackle and a quarterback that were both 37 or older. My team is this close. If Zach Wilson doesn't get better from his ouchie, we will be the first.
Yep.
But if you are a preseason gambler, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I have started on a bit of a hater.
He has. 16 games picked so far in preseason football.
14-2, baby!
That's pretty dang good. And if you've been betting along, you've been making the cash.
Just saying. No, you shouldn't waste your money on the preseason because it's too hard to bet. Well, hasn't been that way for me.
14-2 so far in 16 games picked right here on ESPN Asheville, and hopefully that winning streak and percentage will continue through the regular season. If it does, Jeremy will be living in the Bahamas
I will
not
be
too long from now.
As Mr. Ron White once said, I'll be hanging out with my new friends.
The Carolina Panthers have made the call on their starting quarterback week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. It is going to be former Cleveland Browns starter Baker Mayfield under center. We also have the other team that we are closely affiliated with here on ESPN Asheville. You will hear each and every game here on 92.9 FM all season long. The North Carolina Tar Heels. The decision has been made. Jacoby Criswell is going to be sitting, and Drake May is going to be the starter. Drake, obviously, a lot of Carolina blood running through those veins with his dad, Mark, who was the starting quarterback for the Tar Heels back in the mid to late 80s. And, of course, his brother, Luke, we all remember. At least if you don't remember his, ins and outs playing time with the Tar Heels, you remember the shot. The shot that sent them to the national championship game as they beat Kentucky in the Final Four on their way to a national title back in 2017. Drake May, starting quarterback for the North Carolina Tar Heels.
And I'm going to say something that people will accuse me of being a homer. I'm not sure this team with Drake May isn't better than last year's team was.
Well,
defensively, they're going to be exponentially better.
Okay.
And then you look at the schedule and go, you only play a handful of games that you could lose. Well, you're not going to lose to Florida A&M. You're not losing to Georgia State, Duke, Virginia, who's installing a new offense. There are a lot of winnable games on the schedule. Then you look at the really tough ones. NC State, it's in Chapel Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Wake Forest, may not have Sam Hartman.
Right.
Pittsburgh, also in Chapel Hill. The two games that you look at and go, at Miami, which if you remember what happened the last time they went to Miami, then they said it was the ACC rushing record, they single game rushing record.
Yes, with Javonte and Michael.
And then you play Notre Dame early, but that game's in Chapel Hill as well. I have a lot of little slips of paper that say North Carolina Tar Heels over 7.5.
All right.
Because that's the line for their wins.
Yep.
The thing that made me nervous was if you get, and it's not even really this is not even a criticism of Jacoby Creswell. The offense just changes. Drake May is a taller version of Sam Howell. He does not have the same big arm, but he's athletic enough. He can run the RPO things, good enough arm to beat you downfield. There will be some growing pains. I'm telling you right now, that game in Boone, Labor Day weekend, that's not going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a Tar Heel fan, there's going to be a lot of fingernail biting, uneasy moments. But people have thrown dirt on this team because it didn't go the way that it was supposed to last year.
Right.
And I think that's an error in judgment.
You come off a New Year's Day bowl appearance and then follow that up with 6-7? That was our record last year. After you were tabbed to be top 10 preseason, and it immediately went in the tank with Virginia Tech, the Virginia Tech game week 1. It was bad. You expected a lot more out of the last season of Sam Howell. It did all the records broken and all of that. You expected to do a little bit better. Now Drake is, he's a highly touted kid, mobile
4-star
quarterback.
recruit. He was originally an Alabama commit. The kid's got talent.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest question is, what can Gene Chizik do with this defense? And I never thought I would be ecstatic that Gene Chizik was back to coordinate this defense, but I am.
Why? Because you hate Gene Chizik?
No, because it physically could not be any worse than it was last year.
Absolutely.
If you played with 7 players, I'm not sure it could be worse than it was last year. So this is one of my sleeper teams in college football. People are just out to lunch on them.
Yep.
And it's because you got me recently, but I could see a path if they come out and surprise you this year.
Yep. They had been splitting the reps evenly between first team and second team offense all through the spring football and the camps, and now they have decided. The only thing I guess that might be a red flag or an alarm for me is when they made the decision, they put out a statement that said, well, Drake's going to start the Florida A&M game, and then we'll see how it goes. It's not, to me, that's not like a ringing endorsement.
No,
he's our guy.
No, it's the thing you see in football. It's a strategic advantage. You don't know which one to game plan for. It's the stupidest thing that people do.
Mm-hmm.
Just name the starter.
Right.
Okay? We're prepared for both. It's not like you're going to throw me off. We have analytics departments that do this very thing. Just name the starter.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there will be a package for Criswell. And here's the other thing that I've yet to hear anybody say out loud other than myself. This may be the best pair of corners in the country.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, they're in the top 3 with Storm Duck and Tony Grimes.
Yep.
So this is just going to be a more difficult team to score on, I think.
And, of course, you'll hear the Tar Heels all season long right here on ESPN Asheville. And coming up this Thursday at 4 o'clock, scheduled to be our first Tar Heel time with Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, who joins us each and every Thursday at 4 o'clock before the Tar Heel games. And Week 0, Florida A&M, this Saturday.
And you know what that means?
That means Friday you get to go absolute berserk.
It means it's Friday's the first one! It's for real.
Jeremy picking games. Let's hopefully that his regular season college football picks are as good as his preseason NFL picks have been at 14-2.
14-2.
Whew. And you got another one to make tonight with your Jets taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Coming up after the break, we're going to get just a bit outside and then more football. Lamar Jackson, we'll talk about him, plus the bomb that Dana White dropped during the UFC match this weekend relating to NFL football.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
In and out of the clouds this week and some splash and dash thunderstorms through Friday. The bigger rainfall totals well to our south and to our southwest. But can't rule out some isolated storms coming in here next several days. 60 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy Tuesday, 81. And isolated to widely scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday afternoon and evening. High temps near 80, lows in the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Samsung Galaxy. Samsung's new Galaxy Z Flip 4 and Z Fold 4 are foldable self-standing phones that let you capture hands-free selfies. Pre-order the Galaxy Z Flip 4, Z Fold 4 at Samsung.com now to get a free storage upgrade in case. Valid through 8/25/2022. See terms and conditions that apply.
Count on Western Carolina orthopedic specialists to keep your life in motion. Injuries and joint pain can rob you of the activities you enjoy most. From sports medicine, sprains and strains, to joint repair and replacement, we're here, close to home, to get you moving again. Western Carolina orthopedic specialists. From the routine to the unforeseen, take our free joint pain assessment at westerncarolinaortho.com. That's westerncarolinaortho.com.
AutoStar Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram knows how hard it is to find the exact new vehicle you're looking for, so they simplified the process. They're going to order the exact new vehicle you want. Your deposit is always 100% refundable, and AutoStar offers a guaranteed trade value with a check cut the same day. Simplify the new car ordering process 24/7 online at AutoStarUSA.com, or just come on by the dealership.
Buy your next car from an AutoStar.
No discounts on SRT, Ram ProMaster, or 4500, 5500. Offer expires August 31st, 2022.
DQ presents how to experience the new DQ Reese's Take 5 Blizzard with your 5 senses. First, open your eyes and see it all. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, caramel, peanuts, pretzels. It's beautiful. Then, feel it. Oh, it's cold. Next, listen to it. Now, smell it with your nose. Ooh, sweet top notes. And finally, taste it. Experience the new Reese's Take 5 Blizzard today. DQ, happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com. Delivery subject to availability, additional fees, and minimum order requirements.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back here in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, always brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Time to get just a bit outside, and Rutgers football players. Look, there aren't a whole lot of things, a lot of positives. I don't think that you can pull for being a Rutgers football player. I mean, you do get to say, hey, I'm a D1 football player, but then they're like, what school?
Where do you play? Rutgers.
Oh. Good for you.
So winning, is that a thing you miss, or do you learn to just be okay with it?
There are a whole lot of perks, a lot of things to brag about when you're a Rutgers football player. However, there is one perk that you do get. You may not have the best facilities, but at least your food deliveries are free. I did not know this. I did not know this until I read this story, but apparently during the coronavirus shutdown, the university went to the football players and said, look, they're doing all this testing, all this stuff. Don't go out in public. Stay in your room, and if you need food, just get it delivered. Just get it delivered through DoorDash, and we will pick up the tab. So that began in May of 2021, apparently. And it's still a policy today. Like, they still can get food delivered from DoorDash, and the school will pick up the tab. So in June of this year, they did switch. They're no longer doing DoorDash. They went with the cost savings that Grubhub provides, just a little bit cheaper, apparently, per delivery.
Well, I mean, that's because your food's going to show up upside down with your milkshake poured all over it. So, you know.
You're not a Grubhub fan?
I'm a veteran of these here services,
Uh-huh.
and I can tell you I've had 4 uncomfortable, bad scenarios where I either got the wrong food or didn't get anything at all. 3 of them were that service with which you were just talking about.
Okay. All right. So anyway, they're looking for a little cost savings because the initial run of this free DoorDash delivery might have cost them a little bit more than they expected. So in a review of spending of the Rutgers football program, NorthJersey.com is the news entity that has done the digging, because I guess they just wanted to find out why or some reasons why the Rutgers football program can't stick to its budget. Apparently it's been running on like a $7 million deficit for forever now.
Well, I mean, when you have 8 people in the stadium, it's not that hard to figure out.
And as they went through all of these DoorDash receipts, they tallied it up. And over 2 years, the football players at Rutgers have racked up more than $450,000 in DoorDash bills. That's a lot. And do you expect college students to do, the right thing and only use this for emergencies or, be prudent in their deliveries? No. A review of receipts found that football players placed lavish orders from Outback Steakhouse and Red Lobster, plus pizzas, tacos, chicken wings, and Chinese food, oftentimes from restaurants near their hometowns across the U.S., not near the Rutgers campus. And here's another quote from the Bergen Record. In one case, a player placed orders 1,000 miles apart on the same day in Florida and New York, and then continued to make orders in Florida for 2 more days. $450,000, and guess what? They talked to the school, and the school went, yep, it's still good. We're okay. In June of this year, we traded off with Grubhub, and we're going to see some cost savings from that. Then we're okay.
So did they itemize where any of these charges came from? So there wasn't like a slew of, delivery charges to Asheville, North Carolina between about the time this started and Saturday.
There were not. Have you been taking part in all of this?
What are you, a cop?
What are you, a cop? What are you, a cop? The other savings that the school will see is because Grubhub only does food, because they did find that many players were using the DoorDash to get other things sent to their rooms, like stuff from pharmacies and other things. The only thing I can think is like what were they ordering from pharmacies?
Well,
condoms. That's the only thing I could think of.
Oh, well, the other thing I was thinking was, is this one of those places where liquor stores deliver? Because if that's the case, I can tell you how to save a little bit of money.
Nice.
Somebody that knows how college works, you don't give college students a limitless credit card to go to the ABC.
No.
Dana White, a great card, UFC 278, Kamaru Usman. You did it so well for 24 minutes.
Old Tweety Bird.
It was that last minute that you didn't do so well. And yet somehow that still wasn't the biggest story around UFC 278 because Dana White went on ESPN's UFC 278 with the Gronks on Saturday night and disclosed the thing that was long rumored but none of us knew. He said, I didn't want to talk about that, but he sort of sucked me into it on live TV. Yeah, it's true. I talked Brady into playing for the Raiders, and Gronk was coming with him too. Mark Davis had a chance to shut this down today. Didn't do it.
Couldn't.
Apparently, John Gruden was he was the one that pulled the plug on this?
Yeah. That'd just be too much.
Why? I need John Gruden to come out and explain this.
Because he's a big believer in Derek Carr, man.
Didn't want Tom Brady, man. Too pretty. Can't have a quarterback that pretty.
That's right.
That's why we don't want Jimmy Garoppolo either, man.
That's right.
Knock on wood if you hear me.
Dana White apparently was brokering the deal and said it was done. It was a done deal. And then John Gruden shut it down. Because of
I
what?
have no idea.
I mean, we already have a quarterback and a tight end. We don't need a quarterback and a tight end? Like, in what world do you shut that down?
Look, Tom Brady has haunted my nightmares for 20-plus years. If he just woke up one day and went, you know what? I want to be a Jet. All's forgiven, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a hug.
We will gladly take you.
100%.
Absolutely. Which is why I found it baffling why you gave me such a hard time when I embraced him with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Because you became insufferable.
Which, of course, turned into a Super Bowl the first year in Tampa Bay. And Gronk said it after, at the tail end of that segment with Dana White. I'm glad that it got shot down, and I'm glad that we went to Tampa. Because you wouldn't have won a Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
I don't know that I agree with you.
Really?
I don't know that I agree with you.
Come on, that team was not good.
He made a deal with the devil. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters where he plays. I think it would have been just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I said the nice, funny thing about him going to the Raiders to now say this. Your team seems to be cursed in some shape, form, or fashion.
My team?
Because every time we turn around, you're losing another offensive lineman.
This is true. Aaron Stinney went down over the weekend with a torn ACL and MCL. He was in the running to be the starting right guard.
Left guard.
Left guard.
Godecki.
With Luke Godecki.
Of which, based on Godecki's performance against the Dolphins, I'm going to say he was probably going to win.
Possibly. But now his season is over. You got Ryan Jensen, who got hurt in the second day of practices, who is not going. They still haven't put a timetable on him, but it's going to be.
Sign.
Yeah, it's going to be significant time, and maybe last couple of weeks of the season, if he's able to return at all, he will. Tristan Wirfs is now hurt again. Mike Evans, did you see this? He's got hamstring problems again. Like,
of course he does, because I've drafted him on every fantasy team I've drafted.
You still got Chris Godwin trying to recover from his knee injury last year. It's not looking great. And the only thing I keep doing as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan is going, okay, guys, what are we doing? When are we going to start announcing we've talked to somebody, we're trying to find some veteran offensive linemen to come in here. Tom's been away. He's back at practice today, so that's good news. But I guess maybe you're waiting for Tom to come back to consult on who he wants to go get, because you got to go get some people.
Well, I mean, now you're to the end of camp. I mean, now the time to do that was 6 weeks ago. That time's passed. Yeah. Now you pretty much have what you have, and you better pray that everybody else is put into bubble wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how good you feel about that starting five. When you look down that depth chart, it gets bleak in a hurry.
Absolutely.
And I'm just, you know what? You can call me a hater. You can call me whatever you want to. There are a handful of teams that we did a live when the NFL schedule came out.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at every schedule, how we felt about it. Do you not look at Tampa Bay's schedule differently now than you did 2 months ago? Because I do.
I mean, I guess a little bit.
Starting at the Cowboys, at the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
That does not look like that's not terrible. Now I'm looking at it going, that's 2 road games. Off the jump. Then you have to go Green Bay, Kansas City in back-to-back weeks. I know this is going to sound insane when I say it. I'm more confident of this right now than I ever have been before. I think this team's going to start 1-3.
Okay.
And Tom is going to have to just be the grab this and lead it by the horns, because there are ugly parts of the schedule. I mean, there are back-to-backers here that are gruesome.
Ravens and the Rams? Is that what you're looking
Ravens
at?
and the Rams is ugly. I was also looking at San Francisco, Cincinnati, at Arizona.
With the Saints before that.
Yeah, and I was going to lump Cleveland in there, except that's the last game Deshaun Watson doesn't play. There are just large portions of the schedule where I'm not convinced that you're better than the teams that you're playing here. And I'm not so sure that Tom doesn't know this. I mean, you call me a conspiracy theory guy all you want to. It's weird that the quarterback just goes, nope, I'm out for 2 weeks. Doesn't explain where he went. Doesn't say when he's coming back. That's bizarre. And so you take that one thing in a vacuum, it wouldn't be a big deal. If it was just Tom disappeared for a week and a half, it's Tom. Who cares?
Right.
Then you look at all of the mounting injuries that you have here. You look at the young defense. You look at all the different pieces that are actually going to be playing on this offense. And you go, I'm not sure I would have done that, Tom. Because I'm going to challenge you to something. Tell me how this team wins 10 games without saying Tom Brady's name.
No, you can't.
You can't do it.
No.
Because there's nothing else to hang your hat on. The defense, there's a lot of yeah buts. There are a lot of yeah buts.
Agreed.
And I'm looking at the New Orleans Saints across this division going, you know what? I don't have a lot of yeah buts with them. I don't. If Alvin Kamara is not going to be suspended, Jameis Winston just came back to practice. He seems to be hunky-dunky. I'm looking at them going, they have a lot more answers than you do. And right now, the only answer I'm getting out of Tampa Bay is Tom Brady. That cannot be the answer to every question. It can be the answer to a lot.
Right,
Don't get me wrong.
I was going to say, in some cases, it's the only answer that you need. But
when you got a 30-question test, Tom Brady cannot be the answer to 27 of them.
Right.
That's like, you remember when you were a kid and you'd take a test and it was on those Scantron sheets, and you'd go down and either you'd look after 30 questions and go, I've answered A 24 times. That can't be right. I don't know what I did wrong, but that can't possibly be right.
Is it too late? Is it too late to get Ali Marpet to change his mind and come back from retirement? It's not too late to sign free agents, though. And
nobody. So what are you supposed to do?
I don't know.
Who's the free agent you feel great about?
I mean, you don't feel great about any of them, but you feel better than, if you had Matt Paredes or J.C. Treader or any of these.
God, you were obsessed
veterans,
with J.C. Treader.
because he's the best center that's available.
Unless they're going to ask him to litigate the CBA, please stop saying that name. He's not good at football. Okay, he's the head of the PA. He does that real well.
He's the best available, though. That's the thing. You look at all the free agents.
I'm not actually sure I agree with
those
that.
I just said the top two centers that are available right now. It's J.C. Treader and Matt Paredes.
One of them's up here. Down here.
You got Matt Paredes way higher than J.C. Treader?
And that should probably tell you everything you need to know.
Ugh. I don't know that I agree with that.
Well, I mean, one of them played on the best line in the league. So it's real easy to cover a lot of your deficiencies.
Sure it is. And then you look at the other inside offensive linemen that are still available. You got Eric Flowers.
Hot.
Woo!
Yeah, he's on his 17th team now?
Quentin Spain.
Yay.
I mean,
he's alive.
Might be the best option that you have.
He's a lot like when I met my wife. My greatest ability was my availability.
And then Ode Abushi.
Yeah, he played for the Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets looked at him and went, we're good. No, we're good. We'll allow you to seek other opportunities.
But that's where it sits right now. Those are the guys that are available.
And that's the thing. I told you this in the preseason. Or before the preseason even began. You don't have the room for error. I've seen Tom do this before. This is not the first time. This happened in New England more than once, where things just weren't right. I'm not telling you you're not going to make the playoffs. That's not my point. My point is that you could end up being on the road, and that's where it just falls off a cliff to me. This has a weird feeling to me. Fact or fiction? You're the Bucs fan. There is some weird element to this, is there not?
Yeah.
Just all of these things put together, you look at it and go, something's up, and I cannot put my finger on what it is. And for me, it all ties back to one guy, Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Roots and wings. The two greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
DQ presents how to experience the new DQ Reese's Take 5 Blizzard with your 5 senses. First, open your eyes and see it all. Reese's peanut butter cups, caramel, peanuts, pretzels. It's beautiful. Then feel it. Oh, it's cold. Next, listen to it. Now, smell it with your nose. Ooh, sweet top notes. And finally, taste it. Experience the new Reese's Take 5 Blizzard today. DQ, happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com. Delivery subject to availability, additional fees, and minimum order requirements.
If you love true crime podcasts, before you skip past the Lords of Soccer, thinking it's just another sports show,
you may think you know what FIFA is, what it does. It's not exactly that.
I'm Connor Powell, the host of the Lords of Soccer, how FIFA stole the beautiful game. It's true crime on a global scale. The 12-part series from iHeartRadio and Inside Voices Media is out now. Find us on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you like to listen.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
That's a fine attitude to have in a regular season. But I don't agree with that in the preseason.
No.
You should not be going in with that mindset in preseason football, which leads us to talk about Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau, of course, first-round draft pick of the New York Giants. Supposed to be one of the, the new spark plugs on that defense. And he is going to miss, 3 to 4 weeks now?
3 to 4 weeks with a sprained MCL.
He's got and thankfully it wasn't worse than that. He got cut blocked from the side by Thaddeus Moss. We all remember him, of course, Randy's kid who played at LSU. And, I mean, when I saw it, I went, that's dirty.
It's not dirty at all.
It's within the rules.
It's not dirty at all.
Really?
No, it's not dirty at all.
You just don't
doing
do
it in the preseason that's one of those, you know how I feel about unwritten rules.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it to be a rule, write it down.
Right.
But that's something you just don't do. It's like hitting a quarterback out of bounds in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the buffer is usually within a step during the regular season. It should be 3 in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't do that. Now, was it dirty? No, not at all. That is a legal hit. Brian Daboll said it. Plenty of other people have said it.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about it that concerned me, though.
What's that?
And it had absolutely nothing to do with Thaddeus Moss.
Okay.
It had everything to do with Kayvon Thibodeau. That was a weird play. It was a weird play, and he made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because he stopped.
He hesitated.
And turned into it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I shouldn't even say turned into it. He turned away from it.
Yeah. He turned away from the impact.
There has long been a thing with people like me in the league that guys get hurt when they try to pull back.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to play, you go full speed. I know it's the preseason and you don't do certain things, but you cannot be hesitant. And that gives me a little bit of cause for concern for Kayvon Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that are how guys get hurt. And you cannot make a habit of that. That could be a one-off where he was just not expecting it. It's the preseason. It's just a backside wham block that I'm not expecting the guy to go at my knees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it is something I do believe bears watching moving forward. Because if you remember when he came out, that nobody questioned the talent. What we questioned was the effort.
Motor, yeah.
And that's one of those things that, I mean, if I'd seen him do that in college, which I'm not going to say I didn't, that's one of the more egregious ones I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
That would give me a pause for cause. This is also why I don't love certain guys standing up. Kayvon Thibodeau was a hand-in-the-dirt pass rusher. It's what he did. I told you before the draft, I do not love the idea of him standing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are certain things that happen with outside pass rushers that you just don't see a down lineman come up against. The thing with a hand-in-the-dirt 4-3 end, I really care what you can do with your hands. I care about leverage. I care about burst. I care about get-off, things like that. All the things he did well. There's a level to playing this game on your feet that is just different. There's a reason that some guys can translate into it, some can't. And I'm not saying I'm trying to overanalyze one innocuous play in the preseason. Had there not been the reservations I had to begin with, I would have just gleamed right over it.
Mm-hmm.
But there were, and I didn't. And I do think it's a thing that bears noticing over the course of time. But I did have to say, there's nothing dirty about that hit. So, I mean, if that's where your stance on this is, you can be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's wrong in every argument.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the wrong side of this one. It's just you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
And I would wager when he came off and got to the sideline, I would wager Zach Taylor probably had a minute with him of that's not how you're going to make this team.
Right.
Plays like that, no, it's not dirty. It's just not done.
There has to be a lot of coaching up for Kayvon Thibodeau as well, though, because that is one of the things that they teach you as an edge rusher, as an outside linebacker coming off the edge. You got to be able to protect yourself against those. And it's not turning your back so you don't get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. Because that's kind of what that was. And it was an unfortunate situation. Thank God it wasn't. Thank God it wasn't worse than it was.
Well, and that's the thing is when you slow down like that, you understand a guy is projecting where you're going to be. When you turn like that, your contact point is different. I'm not going to say that wouldn't have been one of those no-no plays in the preseason regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It looked much worse because he completely locked down. So, the Thad Moss hate that I've heard in this, I think is misguided. Just one of those things. And you move on and hope it doesn't happen again.
Building the best and worst defenses in the NFL using position groups by team. coming up next here in the Sportsocracy.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
In and out of the clouds this week and some splash and dash thunderstorms through Friday. The bigger rainfall totals well to our south and to our southwest. But can't rule out some isolated storms coming in here next several days. 60 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy Tuesday, 81. And isolated to widely scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday afternoon and evening. High temps near 80, lows in the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has all your dorm or remote learning and workplace solutions covered. This week, get 25% off desks, filing and storage solutions, lighting and decor, and more when you purchase any chair at Staples. In-store only offer ends 9/24. Explore solutions for your remote workspace at Staples, the working and learning store.
Hey, this is Coach Danny Wilkins, and I want to invite you to support a great FCA ministry serving local kids and coaches to our annual FCA Sporting Clays event at beautiful Biltmore Estate on Friday, September 9th, with 2 flight opportunities at either 8:30 a.m. or 1 p.m. with a fantastic barbecue, ribs, and chicken lunch. Shells are provided. The team consists of 5 players. Space is limited. To learn more, visit our website at swnCFCA.org. Again, that's swnCFCA.org.
Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Quarterback, and he'll make his Carolina debut at home against the team that traded him in early July, the Cleveland Browns. ESPN's Harry Douglas is still wondering why Mayfield didn't play against the Patriots Friday night.
It made no sense to me for Matt Rule and that offense not to play, especially when you have certain pieces just now joining the offensive line and you want it to be revamped. And you've seen the New England Patriots playing their starters on defense. I just thought it was a good test.
Harry Douglas, week 2 of the preseason wraps up tonight at the Meadowlands with the Jets hosting the Falcons at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Our Adam Schefter reports Giants rookie pass rusher Kayvon Thibodeau will be out 3 to 4 weeks with a right knee sprain. The team is hoping he might play in the opener, which is now less than 3 weeks away, against the Titans. Alexander Zverev, the number 2 player in the world, drops out of the U.S. Open with a right ankle injury. The 3rd-ranked American player, Riley Opelka, also withdraws from the Open.
If you need last-minute hires in no time, you need Indeed. Their integrated hiring solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We're always live in the Ingles studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices. Love the savings. You can hear us everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Take us with you everywhere you go. You can see us live as well on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get all the alerts when we are live. That's going to be important coming up in this offseason, or in this NFL season, in the season, because we're going to have the fantasy football show on Sundays. We'll have shows on Saturdays. We'll have Mullet and Friends. We'll have all kinds of stuff.
So funny you should say that.
Yep.
Because we had a little announcement in the chat. We have a Discord server. If you're a member of our Patreon, we announced at the beginning of the show, if you're in the Patreon by the end of the month, you will get next month for free. And you get into the Battle of the Belts and all the other things. Patreon.com/thesportsocracy. So we've been talking about doing an uncensored thing for a while. We didn't know exactly how we were going to do it. And we figured it out.
Okay.
It will be on Wednesdays. And it is me and Brian Haynes.
Oh.
He is back for every week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am greatly looking forward to this.
If you are new to the program, Brian was with us in the previous studio for a long time. And, of course, famously lost his mind on draft night
The
a couple of years ago.
last need that we needed.
When his New York Giants selected Kadarius Toney. And it was, I would say that was the first true viral moment that we had on the program.
Oh, yeah.
As he just lost his mind at his team taking another wide receiver. But Brian Haynes, all right, good. On Wednesday mornings, we will have an uncensored show with Brian Haynes and Jeremy Greene.
Correct. And we will have our fantasy football marathon this Saturday.
Yes.
12 hours of fantasy goodness.
9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Everything that you need to start out your fantasy football year.
It is the first need that you needed.
Indeed. Indeed. We want to thank everybody as well for all of the birthday wishes over the weekend. Had a fantastic time this weekend. Took the kids to Dollywood. They were not as excited about the roller coasters as I was. But
Tank turned 40 and embraced his Limp Bizkit side because he showed up in a Larry Johnson basketball jersey.
I did. I love my Larry Johnson jersey. I found this. Well, my mom found it in a drawer because they don't throw anything away. And this was a jersey that I wore in middle school that I can now fit into thanks to the PhD weight loss program.
There are certain things that grown men are not allowed to do.
Basketball
Wearing
jerseys,
basketball jerseys in public, that's one of them.
Even with a shirt underneath it?
That helps. I mean, because I got news for you. If you weren't wearing the shirt underneath it, that would have been the first hour of the program.
There was zero chance of that happening.
That would have been the first hour of Fred Durst over here is embracing his childhood.
I am indeed. I turned the clock back this weekend, turning 40, but riding roller coasters like I was 12 years old again. And then I went, hey, I could still fit into my clothes from when I was 12 years old. Why not show them off? Just very, very pleased. Very pleased with the outcome that I've had with the PhD weight loss program. Anyway, this hour we are going to do best and worst NFL defenses. How do you build the best and the worst out of the current position groups that we have around the NFL? We did best and worst offenses last week on the program on Friday, and we can't leave the other guys out. So defense time. As we try to build the best defense, we start with the interior of the defensive line. And to me, it came down to two teams.
L.A. Rams.
No. I mean, you got Aaron Donald, obviously. He's going to be at the top. But there are two teams that I think have, they don't have an Aaron Donald, but they do have two starters that I really believe in.
Philadelphia Eagles.
That's one.
Philadelphia Eagles is one. San Francisco 49ers.
It was not San Francisco. San Francisco was on the short list, but the other one to me was the Washington football team.
Based off what I saw from Javon Kinlaw, he knows he was on the roster bubble too. And they were a consideration for me.
Okay. They were a consideration for you. But, I mean, it's hard to choose between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington football team. For me, anyway. Obviously, with his name just went out of my head. The guy that Jordan Davis. Thank you.
There you go.
I was thinking Jordan Akins, and I knew that wasn't it.
Nope.
With Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox. I mean, that's a 1-2 punch like nobody can throw out there, except for maybe the Washington football team.
So which one you taking?
I think I'm going Philadelphia.
I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm going Rams.
Well, I mean, you get Aaron Donald. Mm-hmm. It's done deal.
I get Aaron Donald. I don't care. End of message. Repeat the line.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need. A'Shawn Robinson, yeah, it was good.
He's pretty good.
I wish we still had Sebastian Joseph Day, but, I get the best player in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. And you're going
Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I will be honest with you. I think that is one that I wanted to touch on because I think it's going to be very good this year.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see them firsthand in a preseason game. Jordan Davis is everything he was sold to be and more.
Yep.
So to me, that's actually a good low key call.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN.com had them at 4. I was actually shocked they were that high. Good call.
Yeah. Who else did they have ahead of them? They had the Rams. They had Washington at 2.
The New York Giants.
The Giants.
No, I mean, they have Leonard Williams and
Yeah.
the guy from Clemson.
Dexter Lawrence.
That's the one. Him and Christian Wilkins, for some reason, they will forever be linked in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a problem. It's good.
Nah, yeah, but I'll take the Philadelphia Eagles because you also, like I said, have Javon Hargrave thrown in there as well with Fletcher Cox and with Jordan.
Oh yeah, I have no problem with any of those things. I think those were the teams. The only team we didn't mention that I do think merits being mentioned is the Indianapolis Colts. I am a huge fan of DeForest Buckner.
Yes, you are.
And as long as he is on that team, he at least merits them being mentioned.
All right, so I will go Philadelphia Eagles. You're going L.A. Rams. Of course, the L.A. Rams, that was the easy choice. I wanted to go a little bit deeper.
It's fine. To be honest with you, the tiebreaker for me, there's not another unit that I wanted to take the Rams on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy for me to go, but that's my one.
That's your one. All right, edge rushers. This one's a little more difficult.
Is it, though?
I mean,
There
I
are
believe
three.
so.
There are three.
There are three?
There are three worth talking about.
Okay. The L.A. Chargers.
That's one.
Cleveland?
No. Jadeveon Clowney is one of the ones I get that Seacrest out. New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
Las Vegas Raiders. That's it. There's nobody else worth talking about. I mean, Pittsburgh, yeah, you have the best edge rusher in the league, but then you get to that other side, and I have to go, well, it's not bad per se. It's just it's not as elite.
Not T.J. Watt.
It's not Chandler Jones, who is the 2 for the Raiders.
Right.
It's not Khalil Mack, who's the 2 for the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm taking whichever AFC West team you don't.
To me, it was the Chargers.
Yeah, I'll take the Raiders.
I didn't even really think about it all that much. I love Myles Garrett in Cleveland. You know me, I'm a bigger believer in Jadeveon Clowney than you are. So to me, they are at the top of the discussion. Maybe not 2, as they were on the ESPN list. But the Chargers, to me, are going to be unstoppable.
The one that I feel like it blows my mind that they were as low on this list as they were, Buffalo. Buffalo was 9 with Von Miller and Greg Rousseau. Stop. And a slew of other guys. A.J. Epinesa, Boogie Basham.
But none of those other guys were impact pass rushers before Von Miller got there. Now
Greg Rousseau was.
Was he?
And now he was a rotational piece.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not the one dedicated guy. But, I mean, to me, how big of a difference is there between T.J. Watt and Von Miller? I mean, yes, there's a difference, but how drastic is it?
Mm-hmm.
Because every one of those guys I just said is better than anything next to T.J. Watt.
Yes.
And yet somehow they were behind them. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, your one, when he's that good, outweighs what
my one's quite good too.
You're combined
with Mr. Von Miller, but you know, I still
like
to me there's a drastic drop off between those two, and I factor New Orleans into that too because they have a slew of guys with Cameron Jordan, Marcus Davenport. You got guys, so
okay. I didn't think it was all that difficult. I can't wait to see what the Chargers can do this year.
That team is
with that
good.
defense that they have put together. Because, I mean, honestly, if you're building the best defense, I mean, the LA Chargers would be a contender for a lot of these spots.
Correct.
Secondary.
Which is why I feel just fine that you did what you just did.
Because you got them planned to go somewhere else.
Because there are other things that I'd like to do. Doo-dah. Doo-dah.
All right, so the best defense in the NFL, we got off-ball linebackers, corners, and safeties left to talk about. We'll add those to the best teams coming up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Highway 112 northbound is stop and go between Brevard Road and Sandhill. We're also looking at eastbound delays on 26 between Asheville Highway and Chimney Rock Road. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
O'Reilly. Improve your vehicle's gas mileage and power with Royal Purple Fuel Injector Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. And right now, buy one 6-ounce bottle and get one free, plus earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Save money on gas and boost performance with Royal Purple Fuel Injector Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DQ presents how to experience the new DQ Reese's Take 5 Blizzard with your 5 senses. First, open your eyes and see it all. Reese's peanut butter cups, caramel, peanuts, pretzels. It's beautiful. Then feel it. Oh, it's cold. Next, listen to it. Now, smell it with your nose. Oh, sweet top notes. And finally, taste it. Experience the new Reese's Take 5 Blizzard today. DQ, happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com. Delivery subject to availability, additional fees, and minimum order requirements.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The PhD weight loss program is causing one thing that is a no-no in sports, and that's tanking. The numbers on my scale continue to tank. I am now down nearly 85 pounds in just over 6 months. It's the easiest weight loss program I've ever been on. Their healthy nutrition has changed my life.
When I originally met with Dr. Ashley Lucas, my goal was to get back to a weight where I could work out, be committed to physical activities, and do the things that I enjoyed doing. In just half a year, I've gotten back under my high school weight. I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm going back to the gym, and it's all thanks to the plan and program of PhD Weight Loss.
I am knocking down that door of 210 pounds now, and it's a level that I never thought I'd be at in my adult life. PhD, in my opinion, has saved my life. They can help you turn around your weight loss problem as well. Just go to myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
Back here in the Sportsocracy as we try to build the best defense in the NFL using position groups ranked just this past week by ESPN.com. And Jeremy taking the layup with the interior defensive lineman. Of course, when you have Aaron Donald, your group, your position group is going to rank at the top of the league. I went with quantity over quality with the Philadelphia Eagles, giving me 3 damn good interior defensive linemen that are going to be playing in a rotation this year with the Eagles. Edge rushers, it was a choice between 2 teams. Los Angeles Chargers, who got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Las Vegas Raiders, Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. Jeremy went with the Raiders. I'm going with the Chargers. Now, off-ball linebacker time. It's the best crew of off-ball linebackers in the NFL.
This is the reason I said them, and then I moved on. New Orleans Saints.
New Orleans Saints.
I love that cast of characters. Between Demario Davis, who I'm very high on, Pete Werner, who nobody talked about last year. There were some bright spots there. And what happens on the other side, I don't really care.
Right.
Every team in the NFL, especially teams that run 3-4, almost invariably you're missing one of those guys, and it becomes a situational platoon. So I look at having Demario Davis is, to me, the most underrated player in the NFL and has been for years.
Agreed. Agreed. We both like him a lot. I love Pete Werner.
I do too.
I mean, when he was coming out, I was like, that's a guy. That's a guy that I'll look at and go, he's not going to get the press that he should, but he is all over the field, very instinctual. I love Pete Werner.
And
if you can blend
Caden Ellis and Zach Bond, they both have to get better at what it is that they do.
Mm-hmm.
But that turns that into the best off-ball linebacker group in the league to me.
Well, it's funny you go with the New Orleans Saints because
you're going to take a team in their division.
Of course I am. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You give me 2 top 10 off-ball linebackers in one group, okay, I'm in. You give me Devin White and Levante David. They have been the terrible tandem for the last 3 years in the NFL, and we got at least one more year with them. So who's shocked? I'm going Homer.
Homer. That's what you do. I'm in no way shocked.
You shouldn't be.
The fact you didn't take San Francisco and I left them just sitting there for you.
Dre Greenlaw.
Who's shocked?
I mean,
Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner.
Dre Greenlaw's good. Don't get me wrong. But again, I think you take a step back at Fred Warner, number 1 in the league. It's arguable between him and Shaquille Leonard, other known as Darius Leonard. But to me, both Devin White and Levante David are better than Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah, and Fred Warner's better than either one of them.
Sure.
And it's not really all that close.
Sure. Again, I'm going quantity over quality.
San Francisco would have been my 2. I'm curious to see where you go with the next one.
Which one?
Corner.
Oh, the corners. Well, that was tough for me.
You can't take the team I'm taking.
I wanted to do secondary all as one because I have one team that I think has it all in the secondary, and they are my upcoming Super Bowl champion, Baltimore Ravens. But you got to split it up, corners and safeties. So which one would you rather have? Would you rather have the corners or would you rather have the safeties?
Well, I took them in one of these position groups, and it wasn't corner.
Yeah.
So,
well, I am taking them in one of the position groups, and it is corner because there is a safety group that I just had to have on my team. So, to me, the corners, it was up between Green Bay and Baltimore.
That's funny to me.
Why?
Because there's a team that you talk about all the time that you just kind of gleaned over. Now,
you talking about the Dolphins?
No. I'm talking about the Chargers.
Oh.
Which is who I'm taking.
I already took
corner.
the Chargers,
I
and
know.
I can't take them
That's
again.
what I was about to say is you can't take them again. But
right.
That doesn't mean they don't deserve mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
They go 4 deep at corner. And they're all good. From J.C. Jackson, the high-end free agent acquisition, Asante Samuel, who they got out of Florida State last year, Michael Davis, Bryce Callahan. That's as good as a top 4 as there is in the NFL, and it might be as good of a top 4 as I have ever seen in this league. Miami, yeah, you have 2. And then when we get to 3, what happens then?
Then it drops off the mountaintop.
Correct.
Jair Alexander, I took him in the in our draft of the top 40 players in the NFL.
Green Bay would have been my 2.
I feel like he's the best corner in the league, and I am a big believer in Eric Stokes. I think he's gonna continue to grow. I think he had a great rookie season last year, and that is a tandem to be feared. But when it comes to the best group in the league, Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey are terrifying.
I agree. There's another part of that team I like just a little bit better.
Just a little bit better. And that's the safety group.
It's the best group of safeties probably in NFL history. So you added, to me, the best deep safety in the NFL in Marcus Williams, who, by the way, is also only 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
To him, you already had Chuck Clark, who's the in-the-box guy. That's fine. And then you took the number 1 player in the draft in Kyle Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
But he ran I don't care. I don't care if he ran a 14.6. I don't care.
I mean, that would matter.
Watch the games. Those 3 are going to be problems. And I look at Mike McDonald and I go, you've always been a creative guy anyway. It's your first real crack at the big chair in the NFL. You did it at Michigan. Obviously, you were with John's brother Jim at Michigan. There's some familiarity there.
Mm-hmm.
I look at all of the things that they have done in the offseason, and I think that's a match made in heaven. I think the defense is going to be just fine, and it's going to be quite terrifying.
Right.
Because I'll be honest with you, I could have said the Ravens in 3 of the 5 categories here, and nobody would have had an objection.
What was the other one?
Interior defensive line with Calais Campbell and the 43 other guys they have.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that'd be a little bit of a reach to say that they're the best in the league.
They're very deep.
Mm-hmm. They are very deep. I will give you that. Baltimore was in consideration for the safety group for me, but I would rather have their corners than Green Bay's corners. And I got another safety group that, should an injury happen, they might be in trouble. But Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are the best safety tandem in the league outside of, obviously, the Baltimore Ravens. So because I took the Baltimore Ravens at corner, I will take the Buffalo Bills, Jeremy's pick to win the Super Bowl this year. And I'll go with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde.
I feel good about my team. I think if this was when we put this out for the vote, of which we didn't finish the team. So if you're wondering why that didn't go out on social media, it's because the teams weren't done.
Right.
But they will later today.
Mm-hmm.
This will actually be the last show you see me until Thursday.
Yes.
He's
going to play golf tomorrow.
Well, you say that. I'm playing in the Chamber of Commerce tournament. Like, it's not like I'm just going to hang out with my buddies. It's for a good cause.
That's right.
And then I will be on a business trip on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I will be back Thursday with my hair on fire, getting ready for Friday picking games.
But we will not have a show on Wednesday.
Correct.
Because of Atlanta Braves baseball. So tomorrow it's going to be me and Caleb in here filling in for Jeremy, and then Wednesday will be an off day for us. So, yes, we will get the best and worst teams put out on social media so you can vote on who won the little contest here on building the best and the worst teams, but we're still have to do the worst.
We're draft guys. That's what we do.
Right. We still have to do the worst defense in the NFL. How do you build that?
Oh, mine's a doozy. Mine couldn't play dead in a Western. It's tremendous.
We will do the worst NFL defense. How to build that coming up next here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. But first, I got to tell you how great I feel after this weekend. Went to Dollywood, rode some roller coasters, and it was just affirmation to me that I have taken a huge step in my life. I have lost 85-plus pounds with the PhD weight loss program. I once got kicked off of a roller coaster because I was too big for the restraints. And now that I lost all the weight, I took the opportunity for my 40th birthday to just be a kid again and go ride roller coasters like it's nobody else's business, because finally I'm not feeling like I and my weight might be the reason that we don't make it back to the launch point.
I, over the weekend, achieved one of my goals as well, and it's slightly different. I didn't have copious amounts of weight to lose. I wanted to get back to my athletic self. I wanted to go back to the gym. I wanted to get my arms back to where they're supposed to be. And I'm not there yet, but I'm in the process, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
PhD Weight Loss shows you the path to drop the pounds and drop them quickly. Again, I've lost over 85 pounds on this program, and if you need to get rid of your weight problem, PhD is the way to go. MyPhDWeightLoss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
In and out of the clouds this week, and some splash and dash thunderstorms through Friday. The bigger rainfall totals well to our south and to our southwest, but can't rule out some isolated storms coming in here next several days. 60 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy Tuesday, 81. And isolated to widely scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday afternoon and evening. High temps near 80, lows in the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
On Highway 112 northbound, we are slow between Brevard Road and Sandhill. Otherwise, traffic is flowing freely on 240 and 26. I'm Jack Wiley with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
It's the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And it's a cutoff race in the NASCAR playoffs. You remember what happened last year, right? September 17th. Go to bristolmotorspeedway.com and get your tickets before they're gone.
When you bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive, you could save money, but it doesn't cover any terrible memories living rent-free in your head.
Hey, just wanted to remind you of that time your kicker missed the extra point and lost the game. Even though he literally never missed an extra point, he chose this playoff game to miss. Yeah, I just noticed you hadn't thought about that in a bit. Wouldn't want you to miss, thinking about it.
Sorry, we can't save you from that memory, but we could save you money bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Renters insurance and bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture the burger of your dreams. It's on the new DQ Signature Stack Burgers menu. A lineup of 5 premium burgers like the Flamethrower Signature Stack Burger and Loaded A1 Signature Stack Burger with 100% seasoned real beef patties, melty cheese, and a combo of top-notch toppings and sauces galore. This dream burger is calling your name. But it isn't a dream. You're ordering at the DQ drive-thru. Hello. The DQ Signature Stack Burgers lineup. Try it today. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Roots and wings. The two greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Here in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And my weird story for today is kind of an uplifting story. If you can't find some happiness in this story, then I think there might be something weird about you. It's the story of David Aguilar. David Aguilar was, is a young man who was born without a forearm. And you can imagine as a kid what kind of teasing he went through going through school as the one-armed kid. When he was about 9 years old, he was apparently this master Lego builder. And he built himself a prosthesis out of Legos. And when his dad finally convinced him that he needs to wear, because he was wearing it around the house, just to make himself feel better after all the teasing and stuff at school. And Dad said, you should probably wear that to school. See what the kids think. Maybe it'll be a big hit. And guess what? He did. And it was a major hit. And now he is on his 5th version of this. He's 17 years old now. And now not only is he been able to build himself multiple Lego arms that have very, very cool features, that have movable parts and motors and things that can work like an actual hand, but he's now building them for other kids who are born without limbs. And there is a picture on this story of a lovely little kid from France who has like a little pincher arm that he has built for him, and now he can go and pick up stuff. This kid has big plans that he wants to be able to start manufacturing Lego arms because the pieces are cheap. Compared to what you're going to spend on an actual prosthesis, he can build these things pretty cheap, and it will help out a lot of kids around the world. He has already set a Guinness Book of World Record because of the Lego arms. Apparently nobody had ever done that before, and now he just wants to keep growing and growing and growing on all of this. He is now a bioengineering student in college and providing a needed resource for other kids around the world that, were born with what he calls a diff ability. So they're different, but there is an ability, so it's a diff ability, he calls it. And he has launched a program called Hand Solo for all you Star Wars fans.
Indeed. Never seen Star Wars, but that's a good, heartwarming story. And if you really want to understand the difference between Tank and I, this is probably the best example you'll ever see, because he just told a heartwarming story about a child and their Legos. And I am telling you a story about a man named David Teitelbaum. He is the founder of Rose in Good Faith. And he, along with Chad Braverman, who is the COO of Doc Johnson. Not going to tell you what that is. It's spoilers. They have come up with a new shoe, and they've started a company called Plastic Soul. It's a plastic shoe.
Okay.
It's a plastic shoe. It's a little slip-on. They're about $130 a pair.
So like Crocs?
They kind of look like Crocs, but they're just ugly as sin. I mean, these things are really, really unattractive. And so watching your face is killing me because you know where this story's going.
Yeah, I know where the story's going, and I just thought of something that I cannot say.
So the catch of these particular shoes is they are made of discarded and dysfunctional adult
novelty items.
Yeah. I want to know how you came to somebody and went, well, we obviously have a problem.
Yeah.
Of all of these things that are going unsold. So what we should do is what we do with them. We'll make shoes.
Melt them down, make shoes out of them.
I thought this was funny as I was reading it. Then I got to the point of the cheapest shoe they sell is $130 and went, okay, I have found a flaw in your marketing materials. Who in the world would pay $130 for melted down
toys
things and then wear them as shoes? So they came out, the initial launch had 1,600 pairs. How do you think they sold in the initial launch?
7.
You're low, but not by as much as you would want to be. Sold about 400 pairs.
Okay.
Which means there are 400 people that need to have their head examined, because I do not know how you would pay $130 for that.
Right. $130 for some Croc shoes.
Yep. With some interesting designs on them.
Wait, do they still look like the original pieces?
Nope.
Okay.
They're melted down, but it's obvious. Let's put it this way. It's obvious they were not made to be shoes.
Gotcha.
Because the shape is very strange, and they're just, I'll be honest with you, it just looks like melted plastic. It looks like somebody put melted plastic around somebody's foot and went, shoe. It's a shoe.
So instead of, I don't know. Okay, that's just creepy.
The YouTube comments right now are just they're A1 since day one, and I can read absolutely none of them. Not that I'm ignoring you.
Nope.
FCC air.
Good job, guys. Good job. You always keep it lively.
And I managed to tell that story without saying anything bad.
It's excellent. Excellent job by you, sir. We're continuing to build the worst team in the NFL. Worst team in the NFL, the defense yet to be picked. But my team for worst in the NFL, the offense that we chose on Friday, I've got the Seattle quarterbacks, the Atlanta running backs, the Baltimore Ravens wide receivers, the Carolina Panthers tight ends, and the Chicago Bears offensive line. That's a team that might score 7 points in a season.
And I have the Atlanta Falcons quarterbacks, the Kansas City Chiefs running backs, the Bears receivers, Giants tight ends, and Seattle Seahawks offensive line. If those two teams played each other, I would rather buy the shoes we were just talking about than spend money on the tickets to see that.
Right. So now it comes to the defense. How do you build the worst defense in the NFL? Starting with the interior defensive line. And I don't know that there's another one really close to the Cleveland Browns.
It's very bad. Like, shockingly bad.
It's just gross.
They at least have Perry and Winfrey, though.
Yeah, but he's a rookie, and you don't know what he's going to give you. Other than that,
not a lot there.
I mean, it's like it's replacement level.
I am shocked that you took them instead of the team that I am going to go with.
Okay.
Which is the Houston Texans.
But at least you get one player that's decent.
Maybe.
Malik Collins.
Maybe he's okay. That team is horrid.
He is the best player on that defense, and I don't know that it's close.
Derek Stingley and Jalen Petrie have something to say about that. They're both rookies.
Rookies, exactly.
I get it. But it's so bad. After my 2-day layoff, we're going to finally play a game that we have teased for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Texan or Texan. I will give you a name, and you will have to tell me, are they a member of the Houston Texans 85-man current roster, or are they a member of the Texas House of Representatives? And I won't be shocked if you don't get one right.
Just don't use the 3 names that I do know on that Houston defense.
Jalen Petrie, Derek Stingley Jr., and Malik Collins. End of message. Repeat the line.
Right. All right, so Cleveland, I think they are bad in the middle. I mean, their saving grace is who? Taven Bryan?
One of the worst first-round draft picks in the history of the NFL draft.
Tommy Togiai?
That's the thing is I don't know what he is because we didn't see him last year.
Mm-hmm.
So you get him and Perry and Winfrey. That's why I didn't consider Cleveland. The 2 I considered were the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions.
Detroit, really?
None of their young guys have been good.
I mean, you got 800-year-old Michael Brockers.
Yeah. When that's the one that you're really clinging on to, going, yeah, that's a good one.
Ooh. It's not good. Edge rushers. Who's got the worst edge rushers in the league?
If we didn't say the same team here, one of us did it wrong.
Atlanta
Falcons. I don't even care that you have the same team. That's the winner.
Yeah.
They are horrid. Horridly bad.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely as bad as I have ever seen. Can you name one of their edge rushers?
Lorenzo Carter. End of message. Repeat the line.
Arnold Ebiketie, whose name I was told I said incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue he spelled it wrong, but you know. It's the worst group of pass rushers I've ever seen.
Right. You thought it was bad with Dante Fowler.
When you lose Dante Fowler and go, oh, wish we'd kept him. All I need to know.
Exactly.
I do not need to know anything else. That is plenty.
Now, Falcons fans, you may have higher hopes for this year. Lorenzo Carter, maybe you're going to get him as a little bit of a rebound, returning to the stomping grounds of his college days. And after he had, a really good 5-week stretch, I think it was at the end of last season with the New York Giants. But you're going to be bad. Horror awful, if I will.
Frankly, that whole defense is bad, but there are at least players in every other part of this team where I can go, well, you've got a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Falcons were getting on this list somewhere, and edge rusher is the winner.
All right, off-ball linebackers. Who's got the worst crew in the league?
I want to say a team that's not the team I'm getting ready to say.
Okay.
But it's this one, and I don't think it's all that close.
Okay.
Jets, Jets.
You hate C.J. Mosley so much.
I do. I hate him. I like him as a person.
I was going to say, I don't know that I've
when you're
really
the
know why.
one linebacker, but they signed Quan Alexander. Yes, I'm well aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
Had they not done that, they would have been dead last and next to last and third from last at the same time.
I was going to say Quan Alexander, who is one of the best or one of the best off-ball linebackers in the league 5 years ago with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know what's funny?
And has been churned and burned by 3 teams since then?
Yes.
San
49ers,
Francisco.
Saints, now the Jets.
Yeah.
How old is Quan Alexander?
28?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he aged like cheese.
He did.
He aged like cheese.
He did. Well, he got paid. He got paid and then disappeared, as we see from a lot of players in the NFL. I went with the New England Patriots.
And I'll tell you, they were one of the ones I considered.
Jawan Bentley? Okay. I mean, he might work within the Bill Belichick system, but that doesn't give me any kind of hope
I
for the upcoming season.
I considered the LA Chargers as well.
Really?
Oh, Kenneth Murray is so bad.
He's so bad.
He's so bad. Now, with all the talent around him, that may change, which is why I didn't take them, but I seriously considered it.
The linebackers are the weakest part of that Los Angeles Chargers defense. I don't think there's any question about that. Drew Tronquil, it's an okay player. Troy Reader is better, I think, than Tronquil, but yeah, it's not good. When you're the best at pretty much every other position on the defense, the linebackers, when they're that bad, are going to stand out. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up after the break, we'll finish out the worst defenses building the worst defense in the league. Got the secondaries left. Who got the worst cornerbacks? Who's got the worst safeties? That's coming up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
240 westbound is slow go between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Otherwise, traffic is flowing freely on our main interstates. No major accidents or stalls on 26 in either direction. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
It's hurricane season. Flood insurance can help you avoid paying out of pocket for costly damage. It's time to trust your instincts, get flood insurance, and protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov. Sponsored by FEMA.
If you love true crime podcasts, before you skip past the Lords of Soccer, thinking it's just another sports show,
you may think you know what FIFA is, what it does. It's not exactly that.
I'm Connor Powell, the host of the Lords of Soccer, how FIFA stole the beautiful game. It's true crime on a global scale. The 12-part series from iHeartRadio and Inside Voices Media is out now. Find us on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you like to listen.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumping a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. You are in the Sportsocracy. And as we build the worst defense imaginable in the NFL for 2022, so far I've got the Cleveland Browns' interior defensive line, Atlanta's edge rushers, and New England's off-ball linebacker.
And I have the Falcons' edge rushers, the Texans' interior of the defensive line, and the New York Jets linebackers.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, these are bang-up teams that we are drafting and would be, 0-17 teams.
Oh, no doubt.
Easy.
No doubt.
Easy. You look at this year's NFL squads and go, Houston's going to be on the list somewhere for somebody at practically any position.
Yeah, that roster is rough.
It's awful. It is absolutely awful. Now we get to corners.
This one I didn't think about for 2 seconds.
Just immediately knew off the top of your head who the worst was?
Arizona Cardinals.
Really?
Not even close. Maybe the worst secondary I have ever seen.
Really? Okay.
And I'm not being hyperbolic here. They have a starter. Everybody else should not be in this league. They're going to start 2 of those guys. This will be fun.
You not a big believer in the shoe thrower?
Marco Wilson, no, I'm not. No, and you didn't even draft anybody that I feel warm and fuzzy about.
No.
So it's not even like you have a young guy that you can chuck out there and go, well, this year will be ugly, but at least he'll learn the position in a year from. Nope.
Right.
Nope. Just bad on top of bad.
To me, they're not the worst. To me, I believe that, I still have some hope. Byron Murphy can get better. Maybe
Byron Murphy is a solid 2
maybe,
that has been cast as a 1.
Yes.
In a division with Allen Robinson, DK Metcalf, and Deebo Samuel. Good luck with that.
I'm staying in the division, though. My worst is Seattle.
See, that's funny to me.
Why?
All right, make your case, and then I'll tell you.
What, Seattle corners?
Mm-hmm.
They're not good.
No, but they're the exact opposite of Arizona. There are 5 guys that I could legitimately say could end up being starters in this league. You have no idea. Now, Artie Burns, okay. Any secondary he's in, probably not great. Sidney Jones, there's not really a qualm there other than he can't stay healthy. We loved Kobe Bryant coming out. We loved Tariq Woolen coming out. So to me, I don't even have them in the bottom 10.
Really?
Nope, I don't.
The
one thing I will say about Seattle, and I have just absolutely run roughshod over them, because they're doing what I think they should do. You're going to see a ton of Tariq Woolen. You're going to see a ton of Kobe Bryant. You know why? Because you should. Because this team is not good at footballs. But record will be bad this year. You'll know what you got going into next year. I actually don't think that defense is nearly as bad as everybody else does. Now, I think the offense is dog puddles. So it's not good at all.
I just think you're going to be this is going to be a bad team anyway. And you're going to be asking a lot out of Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen as rookies, because I don't believe in either of the 2 starters.
Here's where I would go with that. All right, let's say I had to pick the 5 most talented corners between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. The Cardinals get 1 with Byron Murphy. they don't get another one on the team. Literally, they don't have another one on the team because they go Sidney Jones, Kobe Bryant, Justin Coleman, Terry Gwillen.
Right.
Done.
Okay.
That Cardinals team is bad. I'm telling you, they are going to give up so many more points than people believe. I'm going to kill overs on them because I don't think you can set them high enough.
Mm-hmm.
They are so horribly awful on defense that I don't think you can set an over-under high enough because they're going to score.
Yeah. All of their games will be in the 60s.
I fully believe that.
Mm-hmm.
They could be I've looked at the schedule. Until DeAndre Hopkins comes back, and I know that's a weird thing to say, until he comes back, and there is any form of consistency on that offense because there's not going to be. They'll be able to score, but it's not going to be consistent. I could see all 6 of the games he misses going over with a quarter to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never seen an NFL game above a 57.5, I think is the highest over-under I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the floor for every game they play in that stretch.
Okay. Safeties. Who's got the worst safeties in the NFL? And this is where I had to squeeze in the Houston Texans. Because, again, Jalen Petrie.
Who I like.
And then, yeah. But is he NFL ready? Is he going to be an impact player? Yeah,
there have been a lot of reports out of Houston that he has been much better than people have would think.
And he could be the real deal. But one of the guys that you're going to lean on in that is MJ Stewart in the safety group. And that ain't going to go your way. Seen it. Done with it. Congratulations, Houston Texans. You're awful.
My team for worst safety is the team I almost went with for best corners. It's Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
There's not a safety on that team that should be in the NFL. Not one. Anthony Harris, he was good with Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Yeah, watch him last year. Woo, buddy, he was bad. Now, he might improve a little bit this year, but everything around him is just that's the one thing that really scares me about Philadelphia.
Is that going to be an Achilles heel?
Could be.
For that defense?
Could be. When they play teams that have 3 legitimate receivers, they could struggle. But I think the pass rush is going to be so good that it kind of mitigates it. I don't know that you ever look at it and go, oh, that was just that was terrible. I don't know that you ever do that because the other 9 players on that defense are so good. Maybe not the linebackers.
So you're saying when Antonio Brown joins the Dallas Cowboys, then they're going to be in trouble.
Stop. That name's on conversation probation, and you know it.
It just keeps going. It keeps going. Every day I think I see something else about, AB is going to join the Cowboys. I hope he does. Jerry says it's not happening. But God, I hope he does. You know I love a good dumpster fire.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of a good dumpster fire.
And if you mix in Dallas Cowboys and Antonio Brown, that's dumpster fire material. That's a Hall of Fame dumpster fire material.
Speaking of dumpster fire, I had to find a way to get this in because it was – you ever hear somebody say something and they said it as a joke, and yet the rational of us go, that's not as much of a joke as you wanted it to be.
Okay.
So Zach Ertz had a baby over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He and his wife Julie that plays for the U.S. women's national team. They had a baby. Who does he play for?
Who play for?
Zach Ertz.
Oh, Arizona.
Who's his coach?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm. So he offered the kid, because he's a little boy, I don't remember the boy's name. He offered him a scholarship, and he said that's a standing scholarship for whatever NAIA school I'm coaching 18 years from now. And I went, you meant that to be a joke. It may not be a joke. That may not be a joke at all.
Oh, no.
You may get held to that. It was one of those uncomfortable times of, are we supposed to laugh?
Right.
Like, I feel like we were supposed to laugh. He meant that as a joke. Not that much of a joke.
Hey, this is just a guy who understands. He understands how the world works, and he knows that 20 years from now, he's probably not going to be coaching in the NFL.
I can promise you he won't be coaching the NFL. He might be coaching at a local high school somewhere. He may have shot for the Stars at NAIA. Man, I have just
you've killed them.
Oh, I think that team's horrible. I do. I think that team is absolutely horrible. And it's a mixture of the contract. It's a mixture of the quarterback. It's a mixture of the defense. It's a mixture of a lot of things.
Right.
And there's one huge difference between them and a team whose quarterback situation has become quite the story, which we'll talk about after the top of the hour.
And at the top of the hour, we'll also do the daily draft, where we're going to hit the reset button on your fandom in college football. If you were hitting the reset button, which college would you choose?
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
In and out of the clouds this week, and some splash and dash thunderstorms through Friday. The bigger rainfall totals well to our south and to our southwest. But can't rule out some isolated storms coming in here next several days. 60 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy Tuesday, 81. And isolated to widely scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday afternoon and evening. High temps near 80, lows in the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Right now, 240 and 26. Moving well at this time. No major accidents or stalls there. We just have construction, such as I-40 in both directions between US 25 and the Dunsmore Avenue. Crews are conducting operations in both directions. Intermittent lane closures are possible during both day and night as weather permits. I'm Jack Wally with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
The Sportsocracy.
That's horrible. No, you know what that is? That's horror awful. That's horrible and awful mixed together. Horror awful.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
I'm Doug Brown. Baker Mayfield wins the starting quarterback job with the Carolina Panthers over last year's starter, Sam Darnold. Mayfield will be at the controls for the season opener against his former team, the Browns. ESPN's Kimberly Martin.
The reason Baker Mayfield is here speaks to sort of the direction that this whole team has been going in for since Matt Rule has been here. There have been questions at quarterback. They've had a lot of quarterbacks come in there. They haven't found the answer. Matt Rule coming to the season is under a lot of pressure.
Kimberly Martin on This Just In. Giants rookie linebacker Kayvon Thibodeau will be out 3 to 4 weeks with a right knee sprain. The team is hoping he might be able to play in the opener against the Titans. Saints quarterback Jameis Winston practiced today, but Coach Dennis Allen says he's okay with the idea of Winston getting his first game snaps in the opener. He's coming back from a torn ACL. Phillies outfielder Bryce Harper will start a minor league rehab assignment tomorrow. He's coming back from a broken left thumb.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Now, your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword WIN to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's WIN to 200-200.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Hear us everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Take us with you everywhere you go. Don't forget you can see us everywhere you go as well on YouTube. Sportsocracy.com. Sportsocracy.com is the website. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can get into the chat with us each and every day. And you can join the House of Reprehensibles, all that good stuff. We're talking about resetting your fandom in college football. College football begins officially this weekend with Week 0.
Of which you have to be a real fan to watch Week 0.
No.
When Nebraska Northwestern's the best game of the weekend, and I'm betting Florida State Duquesne, you have to be a real fan.
I don't know. We don't have some good maction this weekend.
There's no maction, but there's a lot of gambling action.
There we go.
I'll make you some money.
Jeremy's
if I go 14-2 in the preseason, wait till you see what I do in Week 0.
Nice. Jeremy's going to have all the picks for you coming up on Friday, of course, as we get prepared for the Week 0 action in college football. But today's daily draft centered around if you were going to hit the reset button on your college football fandom, what team would you join up with? What would you tie your allegiance to? And it's all because Eddie Fox, a good friend from 99.9 Kiss Country.
Wait, I have an addition to your big opener there, and he is a legend in his own shower. Eddie Fox.
There you go.
I'm totally going to use that.
I'm officially on.
Eddie, you don't have a team. How did this happen?
Well, I'm an NFL guy, Titans fan from way back. I know. And I don't know, NFL fan and never really had a college team. I mean, and actually the last couple of years I started getting into college ball because them boys play their asses off. I love to watch them because they're playing it for the game. Ain't about the endorsements, ain't about this and that or the money. They play it for the game. So I'm really getting into it, but I don't have a team.
So
nobody tell him about NIL, by the way.
The money's irrelevant. We won't talk about that. So we conspired this idea. Because Eddie loves playing the 5 words or less game, which I'm a huge fan of, and I'm adopting it the more we get on this ride. So we have come up with this idea over the course of the week. You'll be able to sell your school to Eddie Fox 5 words or less. So I kicked it off because I have 2. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously we know my allegiance to West Virginia, and I feel like that's the winner. I mean, because my 5 words for West Virginia are take me home country roads. Done.
You have a built-in song and everything.
I mean, that's going to be hard to beat with Eddie Fox.
That kind of touched me down deep in my special spot in my soul.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Now, I am a lifelong Florida State fan, so if the West Virginia thing didn't tickle your fancy, I came up with one for Florida State. We started the Braves chop.
That's a good one.
That's clever.
That's a darn good one.
Because they stole it from us.
Right. That's very good. Obviously, when it comes to college football, my favorite is the Georgia Bulldogs and defending national champs.
True.
Enough said. That's my 5.
My 5 words, not Commodores or the Tar Heels.
He said Commodores. I think he meant Volunteers.
No, I meant
no.
Vandy.
Oh, yeah.
Vandy.
I forgot you're from
This is
Nashville.
a sports show, right? I came into
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Well, here's the thing.
You said Commodores, and he was thinking, Lionel Richie, what the heck?
Well, I mean,
Why not Lionel Richie?
Well, I mean, being mad at Vanderbilt on a sports show, I think that's only the second time we've ever said the school's name.
You get Sam Hunt and Garth Brooks confused, too?
100%. And Florida Georgia Line and Alabama. I confuse them all the time.
Greatest country band of all time.
Alabama, I agree with you.
Florida Georgia Line, 100%.
You have lost your mind.
He will fight you
My
right now.
nanny will fight you with a plate of gravy and biscuits and a wooden spoon. Florida Georgia Line. Lord.
It's awful.
So we've gotten a couple in the comments. NC State, there is always next year. I will say, over the first few hours of this, NC State has the most self-deprecating fans that we have come up with yet.
As they should.
I would agree.
Justin Parton talking about Carolina. Just wait until basketball season.
Perfect.
That was also pretty good.
That's perfect.
I fully believe I think I know who the winner for him is going to be.
Tennessee Volunteers.
I don't think it's going to be Tennessee.
Really?
Tennessee will get a lot of love. A lot of people will say it.
Now, I don't have to pick right now. I can
No,
study on this.
you get all week. Oh, yeah. You got all week. And Eddie actually started this idea. And Chief David Zach told me he doesn't have a team either. So we got to
I don't feel bad.
We got to pick 2.
Right.
Because he loves college football as well.
Well, but he has an excuse. I mean, Chief David Zach's from up north. You don't really have anybody to choose from. Eddie has no excuse to me. You live in the South. You should have picked a team by now.
Well, I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
That's true.
Look, we didn't have TV in Macon County until I was like 15. It was black and white then, so we're behind. We're a little slower in the South. This is the way we are.
Right.
All right. I think when I say this, you're going to see it in him, and you're either going to vehemently disagree with me or you're going to completely agree.
Okay.
Texas.
No.
Tell me he doesn't strike you as somebody that would pull for Texas and would get super into it because they got Arch Manning coming. They got a mulleted quarterback for this year.
I am a fan of the mullet.
I am as well.
You know.
I think that's a good one. I was thinking Ole Miss, though.
Really? You
Yeah.
take me as an Ole Miss guy?
Big party school.
I do declare.
Well, I mean, the only thing I'll say about Ole Miss is now he's getting married. Before he got married, I would totally agree with that. I would say the same thing about myself as somebody that's been there.
Now, my 18-year-old just started Auburn.
That's another one that I thought would make sense for him. But he's not that angry. I mean, all Miss fans are just angry.
That's true. I mean, you
They're
want
like Raiders fans?
You want to pull for a team that will win something sometime soon.
You caught the part I pulled for the Titans, right? And
Well, I mean, that's the thing is if you're going to reset, if you don't have anybody, like Florida State. All right, so the first 25 years, we didn't lose a conference game for almost a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up footloose and fancy free like this is the greatest ride ever. We don't ever lose. Well, and then Jimbo Fisher happened. And now it's like Mad Libs. We don't ever win. We changed the noun.
Here's another 5 words or less. Sell them on your team. Michigan. Eric Miller says John Harbaugh tight khaki pants.
It's the pleats.
He does have pleats.
Right. I think he should return them to the pants store, though.
He does wear mom khakis. John Harbaugh has like $40 jillion, and he buys his pants at Target.
They're expensive mom khakis.
That's
specially designed.
He doesn't strike me as a Big Ten guy. To me,
No.
Eddie's going to end up in the ACC or the SEC.
SEC. It's SEC all the way.
Probably just about guaranteed.
And the SEC was the one I leaned on because the
Anybody
ACC may
that
not
starts their
exist.
show by saying "Country morning, y'all," you can't have a team in the ACC. I'm sorry, we're not that Southern.
That is a good point.
Right.
I mean, I sound Southern, but before we came into the studio for this segment, I had an issue and I needed a pen of some kind. And he just flips out a blade. And I went, see, that's the difference between me
He's like
and
a
you.
little pen knife. He's like a discount Southerner. Like if you ordered a Southerner off a Wish, you get
Bingo. I got the accent and none of the actual usefulness.
None of the actual grit of a Southerner.
Yeah, because I've only had a grit one time in my life.
Okay, now I will say for the record, I don't like grits.
Really?
I don't. Gravy and biscuit, grits, it's something weird about the consistency. What is a grit anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
like
it's drywall
I mean,
spackle.
it's leftovers from like a wheat plant, I think.
Are you sure?
I guess.
I thought it was like a
don't know.
corn testicle, like a little person. Is it not? I just don't like grits.
Here's the thing. I think
It's a technical term. You can say it.
Of the three of us in the studio.
It's the greatest explanation for grits I've ever heard in my life.
Of the three of us in the studio, there's only one that would actually ask what they're eating, and it's Eddie. Me and Tank just go, "Oh, it has gravy on
Well,
it."
we're talking about
exactly.
I just got curious minds, inquiring minds, I guess.
Hey, here's this bowl of stuff. If you put a lot of butter and salt and pepper on it, it tastes really good. Okay, I'm in. I don't care what it is.
Corn, by the way.
Oh, see, I was close with the
There you
corn
go.
and testicles. See?
Yeah.
See, I like corn. Corn's fine. I don't need it in its powder form.
Also called maize.
It's amazing.
I'm thoroughly excited to see what the listeners of this show come up with.
Yeah, y'all help me. I mean, I'm coming to the pros. Well,
So far, there's been a lot of representation for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I figured that
one
would happen.
I'm not going to lie, that one makes sense. I feel like there's an SEC team that Eddie can really get behind.
100%.
I just don't know which one it is.
I think Frankie Cleary's come up with the answer here. He says Texas A&M. Show me the money. But,
I mean, they do. Their helmets do say ATM, and somehow we didn't notice that for like 40 years.
Right. So maybe that's the answer. Maybe Eddie Fox is an Aggie. He could be a Bulldog. He could be a volunteer, rebel, whatever.
I'm gonna study on this.
Now, personally, and now selfishly, I am going to say that I hope he chooses West Virginia, because the only thing that could add to our Country Road Friday sing-along is if we actually bring in the country out of sing-along.
Y'all have a
There you
sing-along?
Sometimes.
We totally stole this idea from. I mean, we're in the studio right next to you.
Sing along.
You're never here though.
What time do you do it?
Like 5:50 on a Friday.
Yeah, you show up in the
You're
AM.
gone.
See, you show up in the AM time. We're night people. Like we
I know there's a sing along. I mean, that changes everything.
100%.
Well, standing invitation.
No doubt.
All right.
Maybe do it a cappella. Maybe some highs, lows, a little mid.
Yeah. I mean, or we could just do it right now.
Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
Take me home, Mama.
Country roads.
Eddie Fox, ladies and gentlemen, 99.9 Kiss Country.
I love y'all.
Yes, it is that time. We have to find out which college football program we are going to saddle Eddie Fox
Help me.
with. So get on the social medias, respond 5 words or less, describe your team and why Eddie should choose it. When we come back from the break, it'll be daily draft time. We will be drafting, if we're resetting our fantasy, our football, college football fandom. What team you going with?
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is flowing freely on 26 in both directions. Also looking good on 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montfort Avenue. On I-40, we have long-term construction work between US 25 and Dunsmore Avenue. Lane closures are possible during both day and night as weather permits. I'm Jack Wiley with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Northern Tool and Equipment Sidewalk Sale is this Thursday through Sunday. Stop in and save up to 60% on hundreds of their best-selling tools and equipment. Visit northerntool.com to find store locations near you.
That looks delicious.
Yeah, it's Taco Bell's Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito. Don't know if you heard, but it has double steak, cheese grilled on top of it, and nacho cheese sauce inside.
Ooh, let me have a bite.
Nah, you're already cheesy enough with all your dad jokes.
And I keep all my jokes in a base.
Leave me alone. I'm hungry.
No, you're Dave. Hungry is a country.
Taco Bell's Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito is back. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only. Contact local store for hours and participation which vary. Double the steak claim is compared to the steak quesadilla.
Hey folks, DG here. I have raved about Dr. Rebecca Merrill and her staff at Asheville Smiles for years now, and I hope you've already taken my advice. But don't just take my word for it. Gary recently gave a 5-star review online saying, quote, "I love the personal touch, !" They did a great job and explained everything they were doing. I am very happy we found Asheville Smiles, ! Believe me and Gary and the online review masses. And visit AshevilleSmiles.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Back here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
I can't wait for your 5'7" quarterback to let you down so I don't have to hear this for a while.
The defending national champion, Georgia Bulldogs. And it may very well be that's the last one you win for the next 40 years. I got to get it in while I can.
Got to give a shout out to our guy Colin for the super chat during the Country Road sing-along. Don't know if that's why he did it. I'm going to say it is.
Yeah, why not?
Did twice. And then he said, keep up the great work, guys, and much love. We love you, too.
Much love indeed. And we are talking about resetting your college football fandom. If you were just scrapping it clean today, you were like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't be with X team anymore. I need to start over.
Basically, you're like me. You got Florida State who just continuously hurts you.
Yes.
And you had to pick a new team. Who would it be?
And I get the first pick today.
You get the first pick, and I'm not going to lie, I'm really happy because I want to hear you say what you should say here.
Well, I would be stupid not to.
100%.
If you are a new college football fan and you're picking a team, why would you not want to back a winner? A winner among all winners is obviously the Alabama Crimson Tide. You have the greatest coach in all of college football history, 7 national championships to his credit. They've won 6 since he's been in Alabama. They continue to have #1 recruiting class or close to each and every year. Alabama has to be the one that everybody goes, yep, that's my new team. Like when I was a kid growing up, early 1990s, there became a whole lot of Miami Hurricane fans in the mountains of western North Carolina because why? Because, well, they won. They had a hell of a swagger about that team with the Jimmy Johnson years, winning a national championship. You had the cultural tie-in with the 2 Live Crew and that whole thing.
See,
Miami
to me,
became
that
the
plays
one.
a lot into it. I'm much bigger on the cool factor than you are.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to wear the swag. I want to be able to do all the things. So my 2 are pretty easy, and I don't think they're the ones you think I'm going to say.
Okay.
Ohio State's the most obvious.
Yes.
Because you're in a conference that's getting bigger. I think you will, even with the additions, still be the best team in the conference. The other one's easy to me, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's USC.
Agreed.
I'm in L.A. You got the cool factor. I got the cool young coach. I'm where everybody wants to be because we got all the pretty girls.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that hard to me. And now I know you're going to double up with 2 that are good.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, they're a step down because they're in smaller towns. I get one of the only location schools in USC.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
If you're making a journey to go see your team, I get L.A.
Mm-hmm.
You choose Florida, you're getting Gainesville, which is Jacksonville with more mullets.
Right. I can't deny that both of those great choices. Ohio State, obviously, they're a team that's always going to be on a path to compete for a national championship, get through the Big Ten. USC comes in with Lincoln Riley, and I realize that program and their image took a bit of a hit with the Clay Helton years.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? We just re-upped with Lincoln Riley and the best recruits that we could find.
And I'm telling you, I went through this with Florida State. It is so much sweeter when you pick yourself up off the canvas. The Jimbo Fisher years, that's why I hate him so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because the end was not great. But, man, you brought me some happy times because I took all the shots.
Oh, yeah.
When Bobby had gotten up in age and the recruiting wasn't happening and Clemson was coming in beating us in Doak, then Jimbo showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? We're back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you're about to see out of USC.
All right, my next pick, changing your college football fandom, I think it's Georgia.
I was about to say your team will disown you. If
right.
You don't do it.
I mean, it's Georgia. The defending national champions, enough said, which was my 5 words or less explanation for becoming a Georgia football fan. But they are one of the teams that is going to be at the top of this new era. They make so much money off of football. They're always going to be at the top. As long as Kirby Smart continues to hit the recruiting trail like he has, they're going to be contenders with Alabama year in and year out. I don't really see a window to that closing. Now,
You
this
don't
becomes
want to
tough.
do it, but you have to.
It becomes tough after this one for me, but, I mean, Clemson has to be the one.
I think that's the one you have to
I mean, they are
pick.
the class of the ACC, and I don't really see a path for anybody else chasing them down. Miami might have something to say about that.
The thing that scares me is where do you end up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the negotiations with the Big Ten are allegedly happening right now. It started with Oregon. They're not done expanding. That's what would make me nervous. That's the reason I avoided Clemson like grim death.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason I avoided Georgia, if I'm being really honest with you. Because I don't know what that's going to look like. You get into an 18-20 team SEC where you add Clemson, Florida State, and now you've got all of the recruiting things. I don't know how that's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Right.
I'm just saying I avoided it because I didn't have to do it.
Right.
Now, I'm glad you did the Clemson thing because for me, the next two are, I'm not going to say they're as easy, but they're pretty close.
Okay.
Follow the money. Texas A&M. No doubt. I have more. I'm printing money.
Mm-hmm.
I have no history whatsoever. So this is the first time. This time will be the first time. There's not many schools that you can say that about.
Right.
They've never been the premier school in their own state. It's the next one that's tough for me. And I think you're going to disagree with what I'm about to say.
Okay.
It's Texas.
Yeah.
It's Texas. I got the coach. I got the money. I got all the things. I got the quarterback coming. I see him 1 year away, and he has the perfect last name for this to be exactly what I want it to be.
Arch Manning
And I'm telling
coming in
you,
makes a
all
difference.
he's got to do is bring me one.
Mhm.
He brings me one national title, and it'll all come tumbling after.
Sure.
This is like the Chuck Knobloch disorder. The second baseman that cannot throw it to the first baseman. That's how I look at Texas right now.
Mhm.
There's one guy that I've looked at for a long time and said, that's the one that can fix this, but I never thought he'd show up.
Right.
And it's Arch.
Okay. Arch Manning, coming to Texas next year. They got Quinn Ewers this year, who will be off to some other school next year. Who knows,
Yeah.
who knows where? Who knows where he's going to be? But you can't deny that the future looks bright for Texas.
Absolutely.
Because they've got all the money. They're joining the SEC. They're going to get a little gravy on their taters from that jump. We make jokes all the time about how, oh, great, you're going to go to the SEC. You think you're going to compete there? Yeah, you
I
are.
do, because they have the money.
Mm-hmm.
And the money is getting more important by the day.
Sure. Money is also a big tie, but being in the conference, what conference you're in is going to matter for all of this. And you know what? I got two picks here back to back, and I'm one outlier, but the rest of them all from the Master Conference. Because I'm going LSU. LSU has amazing facilities that they'll only continue to add to. Do you honestly believe that this program's going to be down for an extended period of time?
Nope.
You can't. You can't. They have had Nick Saban, Les Miles, thank you. For some reason, the name Miles Turner was in my head, and he ain't even close to football coach.
No, he's a center for the Pacers.
Right. Les Miles and Ed Orgeron have all won national titles there.
Mm-hmm. And now you got Brian Kelly that I would argue is a better coach than the last two that you just said, and it's not all that close.
Indeed. So they're going to win a national title at some point. They've got the facilities. They've got the incredible fan base. The atmosphere there is unbelievable. I got both Death Valleys on my list. I feel pretty good about that. And then my next one, I think it's going to irk Jeremy a little bit because I don't think there's another coach in college football that would get me on his bandwagon faster than Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss.
I don't love that you just did that.
And it is a hell of a party school. It is tradition, steeped in tradition.
Oh, I've always said that's the prettiest school in the world.
Mm-hmm. It's a hell of a place to be on game day. They haven't always been a winner.
They don't even care what your GPA is.
Mm-hmm.
You have to send in a headshot, and if you're less than an 8, they don't let you in. I've been to that school. That's one of the reasons I didn't get into that school.
Which means I would have to apply 6 times to get in? Is that how that works? Do I get a cumulative score?
I think it's an average.
Oh, well, it's okay. Like I said, hell of a place to be on a game day. Ole Miss, to me, I don't know that they'll ever win a national championship.
But it's going to be a cool party.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be a super cool party.
The thing that makes me nervous is I don't know how long Lane is for Ole Miss.
That's the other thing.
I feel like he can be intrigued by the bigger job. I mean, we've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
The apple is in his eye at all times. And that's the reason I wasn't going to go Ole Miss. I can't believe, A, I'm about to do this. B, they somehow fell right in my lap right here at 10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this.
The U.
It's Miami.
Ugh.
It's all about the cool factor. I've got the coach.
Is it still cool,
I don't
though?
have the facilities, but I'm telling you, if there's one guy that can do the Jimmy Johnson thing and put the fence around Dade County and I get everybody from here, and good luck stopping me, it's Mario Cristobal.
Yeah.
Right now, they are clearly the best team positioned for the next 5 years in the state of Florida.
And
I don't think it's close.
And by far the best uniforms of any Miami team.
And I mean, think about that. Miami hasn't really changed their uniforms much in ever. You not find it weird that they hire the cool coach, they hire the guy from Dade County, and now this is when we embrace the Miami Vice thing?
Yep.
This is when we want to do the neon lights. It's not an accident.
The Miami Knights uniforms that they just put out I think they're incredible. They're black with like neon green and yellow, neon green and orange stripes and accents, and I think they're fantastic.
For me, it's all about the cool factor,
Mm-hmm.
and they reek of it.
I just don't know that they're enough to get new fans on board.
The one thing they don't have is the facilities.
Mm-hmm.
If the money ever gets poured into that program where they have facilities that are even on par with everybody else, because theirs are substandard at best, especially in the stadium, look out. Because that's the one thing that really holds them back. Now we're to everybody's favorite part of this.
Oh, the undrafted free agent portion. We hadn't done it in so long, I hadn't prepared another one. Ugh.
Oh, I mean, for me, it's not even difficult.
Really? Okay.
It's not even difficult. I have the tradition. Now I have the coach. I have a little bit of swagger that I haven't had in a long time.
Good night. I can't even think about where you're getting ready to go with this. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Notre
Michigan.
Dame.
Oh, Notre Dame and Michigan are the two undrafted free agents. Obviously mine going with the, the tight khaki pants.
You went with mom pants.
I did, but I also, I like Jim Harbaugh, and I think he's going to be there for forever. I really don't.
It is
I really don't think
hard.
he's going back to the NFL.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think if he was going to do it, it would have been Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
The thing for me is it's so hard to sell me on a cold weather school outside of USC not USC, outside of Ohio State, because talent-wise they're just far superior to everybody else.
So why Notre Dame?
Brian Kelly didn't have cool.
No,
he didn't. And I know I'm heaping on that word. You've got to understand. Now, with the money being what it is, and NIL and all of those things, you're going to see this become a thing. Why do you think everybody's doing these spin 3D photography things? Because you can put it on Twitter, and all of a sudden it looks cool. And I got news for you. If you're talking about a coach that can do those things, I get Marcus Freeman. Of every coach on this list, the only one that I think it's even debatable with would be Lane Kiffin, who I don't have to deal with potentially for long.
Yep.
All the way in.
Marcus Freeman, he gives you the cool factor, though?
Oh, yeah. Listen to him talk. Listen to him talk for 5 seconds. He makes me want to run through a wall.
Okay.
And at this point, I won't even run down the hall for a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Marcus Freeman has it.
Somebody asked in the comments, too, nobody said Notre Dame or Penn State. Well, obviously Notre Dame just went to Jeremy and the undrafted free agents. Penn State's not cool.
That's not 100%
I don't think
true.
it is.
That's not 100% true. It's cold. Cold. It is hard when there is a Texas, even Oklahoma, that I think's down a little bit. You look at all these warm weather places where all the pretty girls are. It's hard for me to say that Happy Valley, Pennsylvania is going to sell 18-year-old kids. The game has changed. And I'm looking at something 30 years down the line. This is if you're audibling your fanhood, who is going to cause me the least sadness down the line, mixed with the most happiness. If I'm going cold weather, it has to either be Notre Dame or Ohio State. There's just not another one.
Just because they call it Happy Valley doesn't mean all of their fans are happy. You think Penn State fans are real happy people? I only know 3 of them, and they're all some of the most miserable people on the planet because
at Sports Take ESPN.
Joe Paterno's not there anymore. That was the heyday. That was when it was time. That's when it was cool to be a Penn State fan. I just don't see Penn State hitting on the cool factor.
I don't either.
Even though I love James Franklin, I just don't think he's cool. Definitely not as cool as Jim Harbaugh in his khaki pants. You're in the Sportsocracy. You're on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
In and out of the clouds this week and some splash and dash thunderstorms through Friday. The bigger rainfall totals well to our south and to our southwest. But can't rule out some isolated storms coming in here next several days. 60 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy Tuesday, 81. And isolated to widely scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday afternoon and evening. High temps near 80, lows in the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
On US 19 southbound, we're stop and go between Patton Avenue and New Leicester Highway. Westbound 240 is heavy between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by FEMA and the National Flood Insurance Program. It's hurricane season. Flood insurance can help you avoid paying out of pocket for costly damage. It's time to trust your instincts, get flood insurance, and protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov. Sponsored by FEMA.
It's the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And it's a cutoff race in the NASCAR playoffs. You remember what happened last year, right? September 17th. Go to bristolmotorspeedway.com and get your tickets before they're gone.
Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Welcome back into the Ingles Studio, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
That's right. Each and every day we bring you the most important message of just stay on the right side of the law, folks. That's all you got to do. Some people find that hard to do. Like this guy, who he's in trouble now with the law because he went online and he was looking for some companionship. And through an online platform, he found a lady of the night and ended up paying her $200 to perform her services until she said she didn't want to. And from his mugshot, you can see why she did not want to. And as soon as she tried to leave and not pay off on what he had paid her to do, he did the one thing that I don't think you should ever do if you're in the midst of crimes, which is call the police. This guy, according to authorities, was under the impression that if he reported the crime of, I guess, obtaining property by false pretenses, is the only thing I could think of, that she would be in trouble and not him. Well, we do know that solicitation of prostitution is illegal. And the same stands for the state of Pennsylvania. Here's the kicker, though. This guy was out on parole. Hence, he is not out on parole anymore. He is a violator, and
back to jail.
Back to jail for you.
My story doesn't have a nice, tidy ending.
Okay.
Something very strange happened at Yellowstone National Park.
Mm-hmm.
They found a foot.
That's never
It
good.
was floating in one of the deepest hot springs in the park.
Okay.
It was in a shoe, and they have absolutely no idea what happened. Evidence from the investigation thus far suggests that an incident of some kind involving one individual likely occurred on the morning of July 31st at the Abyss Pool.
I would say so.
Currently, the park believes there was no foul play.
How?
So here's my question. Where'd Dave go?
Mm-hmm.
All right, where's the rest of Dave? We found Dave foot. But where is rest of Dave? So the theory is that this person at some point fell in to the springs.
Okay.
Well, these are very hot. Like the coolest part of these springs is like 140 degrees. They think Dave may have
boiled,
disintegrated.
Yikes.
And the only thing left was the foot because the foot buoyed in the shoe above the water.
Dave had to be in pieces first.
Why do people go on vacation to this place? Like, how do you go, one guy disintegrated, but other than that, fun time.
Nah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. There were pieces of Dave thrown into that lake.
They claim that is not the case. They claim there were no crimes. I claim shenanigans.
Exactly.
And say there was something.
I don't know how you could definitively say that, but we're not in on the investigative team, so we don't know.
Correct.
But I still feel like it's a far-fetched scenario for, Dave fell in and he just disintegrated all but his foot.
Bye, Dave. Sorry.
Because if that were the case, where's the other foot? Why didn't the other foot come up?
I don't know where my bell is, but
right,
that way.
Exactly.
Oh, there it is.
There should have been another foot if the shoe protected one foot from disintegrating.
Agreed.
So I'm going to say y'all are wrong.
Formidable conclusion, Detective Spencer.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We have breaking news.
I love breaking news because it allows me to do this.
Who's gonna break the news?
Worst dance ever.
Who's gonna break the news?
Please stop doing that.
Who's gonna break the news?
Worse than the Larry Johnson jersey.
Who's gonna break the news?
Just awful. Just genuinely, unbelievably terrible. It has become apparent that the Las Vegas Raiders are moving on from Kenyon Drake. He will be either traded or released.
And you know what that means, folks?
Zamir White.
It's Zamir White time.
It also means Josh Jacobs is as good as we told you he was.
Of course he is. And Zeus is going to be a fantastic replacement after he's let go this year.
Kenyon Drake is the Sasquatch of the NFL. Everybody wants to tell me how good he is, but I never see it.
I mean, you've seen it in spurts.
Really?
Yeah.
A game here and a game there?
A game here and a game there. Just like Sasquatch. You know, there's a fuzzy frame here and a fuzzy frame there. Never really seen him all together, but, there's some evidence that maybe he exists.
This will be his fourth team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many rushes he has in his career? He's been in the league 7 years.
489.
You're bad at this game. 758.
Okay.
He averages just over 100 carries a year. And yet, we talk about him every single year like he's pertinent to anything. He's not.
a great handcuff.
He's not.
So, Kenyon Drake could be traded?
I don't know who would give you anything for him. Yeah. I mean, nobody's picking up the money, so you're going to have to just let him go.
Right. Raiders also made a trade, getting Nick Mullins sent off to Minnesota.
Woohoo!
Woo!
That's a bad sign. When you go through the preseason and you just go, well, we don't even have a backup quarterback. We'll take the Raiders' third guy.
I was going to say, have you seen Kellen Mond?
Wasn't good.
I had such high hopes for him.
Yeah,
I mean, not that he was ever going
I
to be
did
a
not.
starter in the league, but he'd be a serviceable backup.
I did not. If you recall, I believe my exact words were he could not play a tree in a child's play.
Probably so.
He is bad. Do not fall for the fact he can throw 60 yards off his knees. Yeah, he can't throw 4 feet standing upright when asked.
Yep. So Nick Mullins now leaving the Las Vegas Raiders to go to the Minnesota Vikings, and there could be another trade involving the Raiders getting Kenyon Drake out of town, which, yes, opens the door for Zamir White.
Oh, he's won that job, clearly. That's the only 2 running backs on that team that are even worth talking about.
And like I said, last year, the Josh Jacobs contract, Zamir White, he'll be number 1 next year.
But now there is a player that is worth talking about that has been quite a story today.
Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson.
The reports are that he has been offered a contract extension from the Baltimore Ravens and that it is for more money than Kyler Murray got.
Which he deserves, by the way. I have no problem with that part. That's not the part I'm scared of.
Kyler Murray getting the $230.5 million contract just to edge out Deshaun Watson, whose deal was fully guaranteed.
Which is what Lamar Jackson wants.
And I don't even kind of disagree with him.
And I am Seacrest out.
On guaranteeing his money?
No shot. I will franchise you until you are $70 million a year. I don't care. There is no way I would guarantee a deal for you. Not like that. Just because Cleveland's stupid enough to do something doesn't mean I am.
Right.
And this is what Lamar Jackson's going to have to understand. There is probably no team in the NFL that would have fully guaranteed a deal for any quarterback. I don't care who it is, let alone somebody that runs as much as you do. That would be like buying a sports car, which notoriously breaks down more often because there's a lot of moving parts and expensive pistons and paying top dollar and not insuring it. You see how stupid that sounds when you say it out loud? It's exactly what Lamar Jackson's asking. Just because somebody else was stupid enough to do something doesn't mean I will. Stephen Tower, resident Ravens fan, it said the Ravens don't spend stupid. Correct. It's the reason they've been relevant for 20-plus years. Now, do I think they come to an understanding? Not really.
Really?
If you're this far apart, you're not coming to an understanding in the next 2 weeks. So you're going to go into this season with the apple of free agency that you will never touch, by the way. They will franchise you the first second they have to.
Sure.
And I'll do that until you try to force my hand. You will quickly learn you have absolutely no hand against me.
So he has no leverage in this situation.
What's his leverage? We going to do sit?
Yeah.
I'm not going to trade you.
Right.
I mean, I know definitively I built an entire offense for you. And I would wager if they've offered more than Kyler Murray money, the way Steve Bisciotti and Eric DaCosta and the decision makers of this team are looking at it, we've been more than fair. Because you're not that guy. I hate to break this to you. You're not the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I like you. I think you're a fantastic quarterback. I think this team's going to be very, very good. And they have built a whole offense around you here that doesn't really work without you in it. That does not mean I'm going to cripple my franchise because the dum-dums down the street in my own division did it.
Right.
And the quicker you can learn that, the better off we'll be.
Yeah. Lamar, obviously, you want to guard yourself against injury, and a fully guaranteed contract is a great way to go about that, obviously. But, yeah, you're going to have a hard time convincing the front office in Baltimore to do that. And would you go with a deal that paid him $46 million a year,
I'll
or
give
$46.5?
I'll give you $250 million. I'll give you a 5-year deal, $250 million. I ain't guaranteeing more than half of it.
Really?
No way. $125 million guaranteed. I'll give it to you up front. I'll cut you a check. If Steve Bisciotti's got the money, he's one of the richest owners in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cut you the check for $125 million right now. You'll never have to worry about money. But if you think I'm going to be dumb here, you're out of your mind. Never done it before. I do not plan on starting right now.
Could you get him on board with a shorter contract? 3 years, just under $150 million, all of it guaranteed.
And look,
3 years.
I don't. To me, there's no misnomer as to why he asked. It would be disingenuous to not ask. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why owners were so out of their minds when Deshaun Watson got $230 million guaranteed. Because they went, what are we going to do now?
Mm-hmm.
When our guy comes up, how are we not going to say you're more valuable to us than Deshaun Watson, who's missed a season and a half for being a creep?
Mm-hmm.
No criminal charges, so I can't actually say he did anything, but I can say he was a creep. How am I supposed to defend myself? What is Steve Bisciotti supposed to say here? I fully understand why you're asking for this. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
I mean, and this is where I think that the relationship here is good enough that I think you can get past it. I just don't think you're going to do it in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have that moment of, Lamar, buddy, you can kick this can as far down the road as you want to. It ain't never going to change. Nothing about this is going to change. The day of we commit to $200+ million guaranteed, that day's not coming.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either become comfortable with the fact that we're going to franchise you until we're ready to move past this. We can do this for 3 years, and yes, it gets expensive. There's no long-term ramification whatsoever.
That's why I say, would you be willing, and do you think Lamar would agree to a 3-year fully guaranteed contract?
I don't think he's going to agree to anything that doesn't have full long-term security. Why would he do that?
Mm-hmm.
He'll be 28 years old. Do you really think he's going to get top of the market money at 28? Because I don't.
Maybe not.
I don't. I think he has one big payday in him. And this is the uncomfortable part of this. I totally understand where the player's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand where the team's coming from. Somebody is going to have to fold. And I don't know which one it is.
It ain't going to be the offense. The front office.
I don't think so. They never have before. Baltimore draws a line in the sand, and this is what we'll do. If you don't like it, tough. I mean, there's nothing else for me to say here. I'm not going to spin myself into a corner when I don't have to. The CBA is written for things like this because you do not want players to like Lamar Jackson to leave Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason they never do.
Right.
I'm not going to get fair market value for him if I trade him. I mean, name me the team that would give you fair market value.
I can't think of one.
There you go. And now you've got a quarterback class coming up that's 7 deep.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore's in a horribly disadvantageous situation. And I get it, but one of you is going to have to blink to get this done.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
US 19 southbound is stop and go between 240 and New Leicester Highway. We're also looking at westbound delays on 240 between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
It's back. Countdown with Keith Olbermann, the podcast. Starting Monday, August 1st, a new episode every weekday morning. Political commentary beholden to only one special interest group, facts, plus sports. Did you know I used to do sports? And the worst persons in the world. New episodes every weekday morning. Listen to Countdown with Keith Olbermann on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival, September 23rd and 24th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale right now. AXS.com.
Stream it free on the CW app and CWTV.com.
Did you know that the Hartford sells small business insurance?
Now you do. The Hartford is the Hartford Financial Services Group Incorporated and its subsidiaries, including Hartford Fire Insurance Company, headquartered in Hartford, Connecticut.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Dirty Turkish shark back flat. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. Shark back flat.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Look, I'm not going to beat this horse to death, but I am going to say this, and I am going to get it on record. I do not know what's happening in Tampa Bay. I don't claim to know what's happening in Tampa Bay. But I will tell you, the fact that Tampa just escorts him into the building and acts like everything's all hunky-dunky is one of the most disingenuous things I have ever seen in my life. I understand Tom is the GOAT. Mm-hmm. He's also 45 years old. Mm-hmm. And Father Time is undefeated. You can keep playing this game. And maybe I'm laying too much on Todd Bowles because he burned me repeatedly when he was in New York. There's something happening there. And this is one of those times that I haven't seen it. I don't know exactly what it is, but something around here don't smell right. And that's all I can think about Tampa Bay. The injuries are an unfortunate ramification of preseason football and training camp. That just happens. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is there's a weird aura around here. It's weird to me that Rob Gronkowski, who is Tom Brady's best friend, would bring in Dana White and say, hey, tell him that story about us almost going to the Raiders. The same week that he's mysteriously missing from Tampa Bay. You call me a conspiracy theorist, you tell me I should be wearing a tinfoil hat on my head. Something ain't right. Mm-hmm. I'm mad.
But what?
I have no idea.
I was going to say, what do you possibly think is going to happen?
I have no idea. You tell me what I just said, because that's the part I've yet to hear anybody say. Rob Gronkowski is this man's best friend. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, there are only a few people that you can get to toe the company line. Your best friend's one of them. Brady couldn't even get him to not ask Dana White this the night of one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. So not only did you say it, you said it in one of the times that you had the most eyeballs on you. Mm-hmm. You're telling me that doesn't strike you as strange?
No. It's just a story from when they were on the market.
So let me get this right. You go through some tumultuous period where your name is just being bandied about left and right. And your best friend on the planet decides that's the time to start telling weird stories from your past. And you're telling me you don't go into a back room somewhere and go, can you not shut up, please?
I don't.
Tom, Mr. Controls everything. Mm-hmm. He's the greatest game manager, blah, 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 blah. Nothing happens without his say-so. Okay. Something's up.
Something's up.
You can tell me I'm crazy.
No, I think you're crazy.
That's fine. You can tell me that until you're blue in the face. You know when I'll believe it? When I see it.
Right. Well,
and right now, I don't see it.
Well, he's back in camp today. It seems everything is just going to pick up where they left off. All of these conspiracy theories of, he's taking a week off to think about his future. I don't think he would come back and come to practice.
Well, I
and
also
then go,
think
I'm good. I'll see y'all later.
I also fully believe the Masked Singer thing is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle to believe that Tom Brady would walk away from camp to go dress up like a critter and sing show tunes.
Doesn't make no sense.
That doesn't sound like Tom to me.
No.
And it's weird. It's very weird. There's no news. There's no nothing. There's a whole lot of theories, but nobody has anything concrete.
Nope.
The man can't walk across the street to get a pizza without everybody and their brother knowing what he just did. Nobody has a clue where he just went. You don't find that strange? Because I do.
I'd have found it strange if he hadn't come back. But now he's back, and we can move on. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's off tomorrow. It'll be me and Caleb in here at 3 o'clock. Be sure to join us then.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
In and out of the clouds this week and some splash and dash thunderstorms through Friday. The bigger rainfall totals well to our south and to our southwest. But can't rule out some isolated storms coming in here next several days. 60 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy Tuesday, 81. And isolated to widely scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday afternoon and evening. High temps near 80, lows in the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
US 19 southbound is stop and go between 240 and New Leicester Highway. We're also looking at westbound delays on 240 between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need for school at prices that won't hold you back. Right now, 1-inch binders are only $1.99 each. Plus, select backpacks are 50% off, in-store only. Offer ends 8/27. Limit 30 on binders. Don't send your kids back to school. Send them forward at Staples.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
I love shelter dogs, and Rusty's Legacy in Marion is a no-kill shelter that's going through a tough time. The pandemic has caused an unexpected wave of dogs being surrendered and abandoned. Donations to Rusty's Legacy are down by 40%. How can you help? You can adopt or foster a dog, make a cash donation, or become a volunteer. I hope that you will reach out today. Find Rusty's Legacy on Facebook or call 828-460-3190. 828-460-3190.